Coming off the 28th all-time high for stocks yesterday, we're back to the upside once again this morning as we get going here on a day where we're going to get not only Jerome Powell just after lunchtime, about 12:30. We'll also hear from President Trump coming up, giving a speech around 9:50 this morning, shortly after the market opens. Looking pretty good ahead of that for not only the Nasdaq here, but for the S&P 500 as well. We're back to 600. For the Qs, individually speaking this morning, Boeing with a huge order from China, possibly. Nice move after the close last night. Nice move here this morning in the pre-market. We're coming back in a little bit so far. There we go. Look at what Boeing has done so far this morning. A bit of a pullback here, to say the least, from 220 back to 217. But we'll see if we can't hold on to some of these gains. More positivity for this one as well. Tesla, two-way action yesterday. We're back to 440 here. I mean, is there anything that we could hear this morning from Jerome Powell you think that the market hasn't really thought of or digested at this point? I don't think.
I mean, the only thing really are the outstanding issues with the labor employment, Brendo. I mean, that's really the only wild card. Everything else is baked in. All the inflation prints, CPI, PPI, everything that we really need to know, we know. It's just the employment seems a little bit weak. I'd be looking for something like that.
Yeah, we'll see. Again, 12:30 for Powell, 9:50-ish for Trump coming up just after the market opens this morning. So we'll keep an eye out for that. We also get a few Fed speakers today as well. Fed's Bowman is going to be speaking at 9 o'clock. Bostic later on at 10 o'clock. And then the big one, obviously, going to be Powell. So all ears and eyes on comments, guys, ahead of what could be a market-moving event this afternoon. Could be absolutely nothing as well. Adara will be all over that. Neil's back in the chair this morning. Good morning, guys.
Good morning. Ooh,
Good morning.
Oh, we start on the side?
Starting with this side.
Hello. See, this is what it's all about. We gotta switch things up a little bit. So.
I think he's fixing the middle camera.
Oh, that's what's going on. Okay,
yeah.
Well, that would
we're
explain
switching
why.
things up a little bit.
And we're also going to switch it up. So why not? It's good to be back. It was a fantastic desk.
The layout.
I know, like these massive monitors, you get to be able to have a look at everybody. I see IonQ is making a power move. Yesterday, Apple, I snuck a peek. I mean, I was traveling yesterday, so like after I snuck some peeks to see how well NVIDIA was doing, and Apple did do. But NVIDIA actually, the deal's under pressure, so it's back down a point after that crazy run in the middle of the day yesterday. So
yeah, they got that thing with CoreWeave there, $100 billion.
Oh, CoreWeave's another nice potential runner, I think. And the continuation with this looks fantastic. Like right in the middle of the day, you saw that big run, CoreWeave and NVIDIA both went. And this one's got a little bit more room to go, 2%. Not bad for CoreWeave. We get Micron after the bell tonight. The earnings season is more or less over. Unfortunately for Fly Aerospace, yeah, they're going to wish they didn't report. And what's truly weird about it is I ended up having a 30-minute stock market conversation yesterday morning when I dropped my nephew off at school because one of my brother's friends he's like a corporate accountant.
Yeah.
He's into astronomy and other things. We talked about a lot of stuff, but we ended up talking about just the difference between like technicals and fundamentals because he's a big fundamentals guy, being a corporate accountant.
Yeah, yeah.
And some of the stocks that we were talking about specifically was AST, and Rocket Labs, and like some of the space names.
He likes all those.
So he likes Rocket Labs, and we were talking about ASTS, and then Fly came up as well, and then it just so turned out that they ended up having bad earnings. So we were discussing that name. But he's a Rocket Lab fan. No, he didn't like that one. We both agreed that we liked Rocket Labs the best out of that space. So, but it was a fun trip. It was good to be able to be. My nephew turned 6, so I wanted to be there for the birthday party. It was at a wave pool, which was fun.
Oh, wave pool? Obviously indoors.
Yeah, indoor wave pool.
I don't know what the temperature was.
It was cold, man.
Was it cold over there? It's cold at the night. It's cold in the evening around here.
It got up to like, when the sun's out, it's fine.
Yeah.
In the mornings, it was like 11, 12 degrees.
Kind of ways, yeah. All right, glad to have Neil back, obviously. We don't have is the bottom... Must be working for everybody because they're saying it shows OBY, but we don't see the bottom part here, there today. So we're having a couple camera and technical issues, but thanks for joining us one more time. Yeah, Tesla's up nicely here today. I'm looking at that NVIDIA. It's funny that we got filled in our long-term account in the morning at 175, and then it just popped up. So that was a ridiculous move there. But I like the Boeing story today. You know, catching some more planes rolling through here. I'm excited for that. And we actually talked about over the last couple of days that Boeing was at buy levels, you know, I thought anyways. I mean, we wanted to get it near 200 bucks. I don't know if you're going to get that now. So that's going to be an interesting look here. I feel like there might be some more to go here. Like, that was a nice dip there for Boeing. Better news here. So we'll see if that can get going here today, of course, Boeing. And then, yeah, we looked at NVIDIA. I did want to make sure that we, you know, Oscar was a name that we haven't looked at in a minute. That's 1850. And then the biggest surprise to me was, okay, now we're back under. But yesterday, Uber got up to that 102, and I wasn't sure what was going to happen here today, so just flat. But that's right, we did have some move down near the end of the day, so we got to try to remember some of those plays there that broke a little bit lower there heading into the close. Yeah, the market was funny yesterday. It was just like up and down. It wasn't, well, it wound up 0.7 near the end of the day, but it really got going on that NVIDIA news. And then, of course, crypto's been really hurting, actually. And it's funny because crypto's pulled back so much, and the Nasdaq and all these markets are at highs, and gold is up another % today. This was the play yesterday. We busted this 250 long. It was absolutely monstrous there for Apple. When we bought Apple down here and said the next stop is 250, I really didn't think it would be here this quickly. But you are right now at all-time highs for Apple. So that's absolutely what a like a pickup trade. Right there. And it's just, I think the best thing to do is always look for Mag 7 names that are not at all-time highs, and then think that they're eventually going to get there again. So one of those names would be Amazon. Amazon absolutely bled pretty much all afternoon, all day yesterday. You know, they had a good, decent move up in the morning, but then there's the bleed for Amazon. So, I mean, you can see what it looks like here on a 5-minute chart. Even worse, 234 down to 228. So this is a name here when we talk about, you know, pick up Mag 7 names at decent prices. Amazon could be one of those plays. Because this top, I mean, it's not, I don't want to do it yet because we bounced off this 240 a bunch of times. But Amazon's going to be a name that's in play there as well. So the Blue Jays finally clinched playoffs, so that's nice. And now they're trying to go, I guess, for the #1 seed because Detroit's really...
Detroit might not win their...
I know. What happened? Oh, yeah, now you're muted again or your battery died?
My battery died?
You're completely turned off. Okay. No, but I'm saying maybe it died there. I don't know. Maybe I gotta try to. Okay, well. All right. Yeah, Jimmy Kimmel's back. The whole world is back to normality right now. Jimmy Kimmel comes back today. So, can I post my sticky note early? Yes, I probably can. All right. Yeah, here was Disney right now. Back to 112, 111. Was a low there yesterday off the open. Not doing too much. I was just looking at it because of that Jimmy Kimmel story. He's going back live today on the air. And here's Palantir. Again, $1 away now from an all-time high. So did Andrew Left buy this dip? Did you buy this dip? Did I buy? I know I didn't, but you know, there's a monster move for Palantir. And again, not a Mag 7 name, but there's that 50-period moving average coming into play again for Palantir. So nice movement there to the downside. All right, there's a couple names that we want to look at here today. It's going to be interesting to see what the Nasdaq does. The Nasdaq is flat right here. We've got Goolsby talking right now. As we mentioned, we have Jay Powell coming up soon. It's still is that still on Neil's? I don't even know what. There it is. Okay, thanks. I'm not sure what production is right now, but let's go back over to I think the cameras that are most likely working. Well, no, Andre's not at the desk, but we'll. Yep. All right. Are we okay to throw it back, Andre? Okay. Let's go back over then to Sharif and Brendo.
Watching today, possibly the long end of the curve here. I just brought up the 30-year. We're back to 4.77 at the high here this morning. It tried to get above some resistance areas from going back to last week. This is a 15-minute chart, but 4.77, we got up to 4.8 going back 2 days ago. So trending back to the upside here, definitely over the past couple of days. again, ahead of Goolsby, as the guys were saying, ahead of Powell coming up later today. Some of these yields not buying the argument yet.
Yeah, I don't really expect much movement in the longer date or the longer end of the curve, Brendo, because nothing's really changed fundamentally in the fiscal look for the United States. They're still paying probably over now $1 trillion in interest payments per year. So I don't really see much in the way of that. What could help, Brendo, is maybe some lower mortgage rates help boost that sort of side of the curve. So we'll keep tabs on that.
Yeah, it should be an interesting speech anyways coming up this afternoon. So I was just listening to some comments coming through. I want to mention Apple here. I wanted to give you at least 24 hours or 48 hours it's been now for you and the iPhone 17. But here's a nice gap to the upside again today for Apple. Give us not a full review yet. We'll maybe save a full review for the midday, but give us your thoughts here on the 17.
Right away, you can tell the camera's a lot better. It's a lot faster, but I didn't really complain on the speed of my old phone. There's not too much difference, Brendo. Quite frankly, aside from the aesthetics, I don't really feel much of a difference. Just full disclosure.
Yeah, I mean, you were mentioning one thing with, maybe it's the TikTok app specifically, but a little bit laggy in certain spots, a little bit different.
Some apps are still not working. I don't know if that's an iOS 26 issue or an iPhone 17 issue, but some things are a little bit choppy. When I try to come in into the office using the NFC key to come in, it's a little bit, it's a little bit glitchy, but I assume that that's probably just the iOS.
Overall positive though.
Yeah, not bad at all. But what we're seeing a lot more of is sort of the indestructibility of the phone. So a couple of issues. One, it scratches, especially the darker colors, but it doesn't actually end up breaking. So you're seeing a lot of tests, dropping it on his face, dropping it on side, comparing it to the 16. No comparison whatsoever. The back of the 16 was glass. It absolutely shattered. The back of the 17 is not glass, and so you're not really having that issue.
Yeah, they were mentioning it's a brand new material for them that they haven't used ever before. So I mean, some of the videos that are out there for the Air, the iPhone Air, are just crazy as well. People dropping it off their roof and absolutely nothing happening to it. So Apple continuing to the upside here today, guys.
Yeah, because that's we had a few years ago. It was the one that fell out of the airplane.
And that survived, I think.
That
too,
was the
right?
big deal.
That was.
So if you should be able to drop out of if you drop out of an airplane, the new one should be able to drop off a roof.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, like that would seem to be standard operating procedure. I don't know if I feel like the continuation on this one. Like it's like like last week we left with it breaking out, and then it got through the 250. So. The only thing left would be if it were to break the all-time high, but you get 2 points away from that today, and it's kind of flat right now. So I'm not really feeling like the 260 breakout is overly imminent without some kind of, something new to push it through. I almost feel like a consolidation day or a pullback day. Like I'm looking at the 250 level. Like that was a kind of a key breakout price. I'm looking for that to hold, and if not, then obviously 253, if it just sits there and does an absolute nothing burger pretty much all day long. Yeah, I'm feeling more of a consolidative day for Apple. Like you get that third day after two big ones, usually I'm thinking either pullback or if you're bullish, then I think consolidation. Right? If I was bearish, I'd probably be talking a bit of a pullback, but I'm thinking more consolidation.
Yeah, right here, Apple yesterday, obviously the trade of the day for me there. We had that break right away immediately at 250. It was a big trade there, $6 winner all the way to the top, and then we reloaded it as well there at 254, and that's kind of where we're at right now with the stock. So yesterday was an absolute monster day for Apple, and we had SOFI, Apple, and Intel yesterday that were all crazy hot. I'm going to let Apple calm down just a little bit here. I mean, that was just such a huge move and a huge run into the all-time high. I might not go long again until we break that high. It can fall back, pretty easily, and that was just a great 2 days. And obviously, the greatest consumer product of all time is the iPhone. Those aren't my words. That's just what it is. There it goes, 240. Breaking higher. People love the phone. People are buying the phone. This phone apparently, it doesn't even matter the phone. It's just the iPhone itself now outpacing iPhone 16 everywhere. Like, so it's beating. Last year they had record numbers, and this is apparently 10% higher right now.
You guys lose power?
Oh, they lost power.
They
Joseph
shut the
lost
breaker.
power. Yeah, it's okay. So you better just go tell somebody, Joseph.
Just get random.
There. But all right. So that's what's happening right now. Apple, nice upside play. I'm going to leave it alone. I just think it's too overheated right now. Right, up 0.5. I think the Nasdaq being flat here and Apple being down tells me something. So maybe we'll look for this kind of a short 257 and change coming in for a short play on Apple is what I'd be looking for today. I'm not actually looking short, but that could be something to consider there for Apple AAPL. So we'll have a look at that as the day goes on. But yeah, not at the top of my, like yesterday it was number one. We had Apple number one, SOFI, and Intel. Those are the three top trades today. I don't have any of those on the list here today. So it's just a different day here. So yeah, it should be a good one. People saying BBAI.
We got a super chat from BBAI is on my list today.
7:30. Yeah.
Missed it yesterday. Obviously, I missed everything yesterday, but that was that continuation from last week. But we got to get to the super chat from Jason
Loving BBAI.
In the chat. Enjoy some coffee on you. We appreciate you. Thank you so much. SOFI and Rigetti hit for yesterday for you. What are your thoughts on Meta today? Well, Meta doesn't necessarily have any. There's nothing particular about it that's going to stand out in terms of a catalyst, but it does feel like a little bit of a dip from the all-time high. Like this is one that actually got there already, and you're in that sort of second phase to retest it. The pullback, it was so clean when it pulled back into the prior high here, like this resistance at 740, and you get the dip. So I'm thinking the 50 period is where it's at. On Meta. It's already bounced there like 3 times in the last few weeks. And on that pullback from the high, I think you got maybe one more test in it before you finally break the 800. Yeah, so Meta, no particular catalyst today, but I'd be looking somewhere dip into that prior support. Market's flat. Meta's actually a little bit better than the market, but not by enough. I think you needed a catalyst for this to make that run at 800, and it doesn't have it today. So you wait for the dip at that 50 period support. And there's been lots of it. Like there's a lot of stocks that have shown recently accumulation levels. And so when you see that sort of happening, you know where you want to wait for the dip buy. Like it's either going to take out 800 or you want a shot at the 750 again.
Yeah, for everybody trading BBAI, I mean, I was out with a bunch of hockey parents yesterday again, and we always talk about stocks, and I was telling them about BBAI, and some bought, and I told them, look, my plan was 650, 750, 850, and then hold 30% and see what happens up here at 10. So we're going to wait to see right here. We already got our 650. Now we're going to get our 750 for almost a double up, and then we'll get 850. And then we'll see what winds up happening up here at 10. But Big Bear AI continues to make moves here. So we really, really enjoy that stock. And then another runner here, Webull has had a nice move off the bottom as well, starting there yesterday. And then, so that's a good continuation play here again today, trying to break above that 50-period moving average one more time for Webull. And then yesterday, man, we were long SOFI at 20. I mean, yesterday's day was epic day. Obi hopped on the Apple trade, and I think that was the only one he had all day. And then we had SOFI down here at $29. So that was pretty crazy dip by yesterday at SOFI. So we were long SOFI yesterday, $29, and we're getting it out in the 30s. So can't complain yesterday with yesterday's trade. So it was crazy, and I'm glad that you guys were watching, and I'm glad Obi was able to fill in. But we have right now going back over to the desk. We can go through the super chat.
There's one quick super chat for Ross about here, and I know we have Mitch waiting, but I want to make sure we get this. What usually happens when the USA has a government shutdown? It looks like we're headed there. Whoops, where'd it go? Looks like we're headed there again. Well, they're rare. It feels like we have them all the time, but there's talk about the government shutdown. But the last time in like 2019. Believe it or not, the market was up during the shutdown because I think a lot of the fear went into it. But most of the time, the deal gets done at the last minute or some kind of an extension. That's the regular course. But if you go back 5 years, the market actually did do well over the period of like it was like a 5-week shutdown, I believe it was in total. So at the end of the day, most of the time this gets resolved. And the last time there was a dip going into it, but certainly during the halt. It was actually positive. The S&P was positive at that time. So I think it's unlikely, in my opinion. 90% of the time, or some decent high percentage of the time, they just sort of grandstand it and eventually get some kind of extension or deal. So you pay attention to it, but it doesn't usually cause kind of day-to-day chaos that you might expect. Let's get to our guest. I believe we have Mitch online.
Right away, because one of his stocks here that is on his list starting to get going. And Mitch, I want to start at the bottom. It's Blue Day or something? Did we miss the memo? I like it.
Blue.
New background. All right, let's go to the bottom of the list here. AMD, you said 162. We're going to be there in a couple of minutes here, it looks like, just poking its head above 161.
This is what happens. This is what happens. You know, you start looking at a level, you're like, I'm going to talk about this level, and then it just, well, there it is. Already coming to it. Well, I think this is all have to do with just looking into the pattern, right? I think you're getting yourself some kind of consolidation here between 162 kind of down towards 150 on AMD. Now, of course, the NVIDIA news I think is going to help this out, right? And I think that that's what you got to be looking for. Kind of the leaders that come back into play, right? And I think that we're seeing some big tech names starting to lift. Look for those to continue leading some of this rally, right? For a little while there, we started to go towards more like speculative plays, and there was really that stock pickers environment. But now I'm going to look for NVIDIA to take lead. Of course, you guys are seeing Apple almost at all-time highs, right back at there. I could look for Microsoft to start taking off. And of course, we saw how Google was, right? And it just goes to show you that betting on any of these big boys to the downside in the long run is a recipe for disaster. You know, there were so many people kind of hitting Google about search and AI and things like that. Well, then all-time highs, right? Well, don't bet against the best of breed companies, right, guys? If you're trying to short names, it should be in the names that don't have any fundamentals behind them, not the names that if you quickly look, yeah, you're getting discounted prices when these stocks come down. So that's the idea now. AMD, let's see if it gets above 162. The only thing that I would say about AMD is that it does these quick sweeps. Yesterday we saw it. It was a quick sweep up and didn't really allow you to get back in. So look for those quick wipeouts of yesterday's level and then a quick recovery. So let's say like a 160 opening red candle and then back up through that would be the move, right? Remember, they always wash them before they send them.
All right, coming up after the close tonight, any thoughts on Micron, the last, not necessarily in this group, but one that people may associate with this group, MU tonight?
Yeah, I think MU tonight is a little bit tough, right? I mean, to play this now, you're definitely in the weeds, right? You're just looking to see that the company continues going. If I was a long-term investor, got in around the 130s or 150, yeah, maybe I'm hanging in here and looking for this earnings report to continue things higher. Now, what we are going to be looking for, does this just continue the party? Because we are getting later and later in this rally. It seems like it, right? Is this the last hoorah of the year, right? It seems like we're getting this last ramp. We're getting the dash for trash, late inning rally, but the truth is everything's rallying. So I'm not calling the turn just yet, but I am saying we're getting towards the later part of these rallies. So what are you going to start seeing more? Profit taking. What did we start seeing yesterday and this week? We're seeing more and more some traders starting to take some of these trend trades off.
If you want to zoom out a little bit here, I want to make sure we get to JOBY because Sharif is going to be very interested in your opinion on that. But be gentle, though, Mitch. If we zoom out a little bit here first, though, let's talk about the market. We have both Trump coming up just after the open today at 9:50, Powell later on just after lunchtime. The type of day you're going to sit on your hands a little bit first to see how that plays out or just ignore it altogether?
Yeah, you got to either do quick plays right out the gates or look for a little bit of the afternoon slowdown and then a pickup towards the end of the day, right? Of course, with Jerome speaking, that's what we're going to be listening to. Donald Trump will be talking to, and I think he's just going to be leaning more and more to telling us information about the China deal that I think everyone's even looking past it. I feel like the market's already even priced it. So we'll see what happens with that conversation. The big bad wolf, Jerome, is going to be talking, of course, about how inflation is the fight now, that he would love to cut more, but concerned about inflation. So you don't really need to pay attention to that. Just wait for the shakeouts today and be careful with early kind of moves, then just slowing down. They might look like they're ramping, and all of a sudden slow down, trickle down, right? So selling the rips right now, especially on the day trade side, seems to be working, right? Buying dips is still also working too. So of course, when you do buy that dip, make sure that when you get that rip back up, that you're not just holding on and expecting the stock to continue going. That's where I'm starting to see people. And you're starting to see really kind of outstretched moves and people buying like these crazy calls that are just going to, at some point, start being worthless.
All right, let's go to air mobility, or the potential of it. JOBY, huge day yesterday. Again, Sharif's favorite stock right now, so be gentle.
I like it. I like it here, guys. And there's a reason why I'm watching it. It's because it's not just one chart that's setting up, right? Archer's also setting up for the move above 10. This is why I talk about relationships so much, guys. It's not just about knowing one name in the space. It's about knowing all the names in this space, because there's always going to be a leader to laggard effect, right? We saw it in open. All of a sudden, OPAD started looking interesting. And yes, Money Mitch did call the short on open last week, but then also on Wednesday called the long on the stream. That's how you do it, guys. You got to be able to flip-flop between each day. And now what happens? Open starts getting wiped out. They start talking about this BETR, and you're going to see open head through that open door, and it ain't looking back, guys. So I think at this point you could say bye-bye, bye-bye, and a good outlook was, I said, don't only worry about the meme. Look at Zillow. Look at the destruction you saw in Zillow in the last 2 days, and that's going to tell us more and more. This was also running with some tailwinds of the rate cuts. But now what's being viewed, right? Well, inflation could stop some of those rate cuts, and it ain't looking like we're going to get many rate cuts in 2026, at least from the dot plot right now. And so I think this is the reason why you're starting to see a little bit of a shift in buying and selling there. And as Zillow goes, so will open, and so will OpenPad.
It seems like $8 a bit of a thing here, both after the close yesterday and pre-market here this morning. Is there a trade here today for open?
Yeah, I think the trade today is just going to be a lot of chop in that. You might get a pop out the gates, but what's going to happen now, you're going to have people hoping and praying for it to get back. So you have that overhead supply where every rip is probably going to now be sold into, right? And so at this point, you'll see the trend traders also wanting to do what? Get out at the open. So yes, you might see a quick pop at the open, but I think that's a fade now towards the long side. And you'll start seeing bigger shorts start to get put into this. They were already starting to line up, but now that you're starting to break key levels, you'll start to see bigger and bigger ads. I think open is done here.
All right, real quick, QS, big move after the news end of last week, or I guess it was mid last week. What are we looking at here? All the way back to almost $14 here for QuantumScape once again.
Yeah, so I'm looking for this now to start to create kind of that cup and handle pattern. It's already kind of created that U effect, right? So now we need to see a little bit of a pullback back towards, let's say, like a 9 EMA effect. So you could play this on the quick short, right? Back down towards like 12, 9 EMA right now around 1166. So I'd be looking for a pullback back towards that 12, put some pressure on that, and then start to come back up through this 14. I think this is a stock that you continue to watch. I've mentioned it in the past, and this is all, of course, about solid state batteries. And I think you continue to move forward with this company. A big part, Toyota believes in it. If Toyota believes in it, I'm going to start believing in it, and others should also. That's why there was mentions that maybe Tesla might reach out to this company and things like that. The technology is needed, because if the EVs are ever going to really take off, it's going to be because they have that mileage, and that concern goes to the side.
Mitch, we are just checking here, I guess 3 weeks away still from the gang over at Trade the Pool coming into the studio October 13th. Your crew will be here for the entire day. We're looking forward to it. What else do we need to know? What's going on over at Trade the Pool?
Well, of course, at Trade the Pool, we got the Flex and the Max. I just passed a new Flex swing account, right? And the fun part was I had this account open since June. This is the important part and the differentiating factors at Trade the Pool. Of course, we give you the ability to even take an eval with no ending. So if you just wanted to take, you know, one trade a week, or maybe every 2 or 3 days taking a trade, you could do that, right? Or you could take the slower approach, size down, and just look for the consistency. So definitely check out Trade the Pool if you haven't done so in the past. Maybe you tried it for the day trading side. I definitely advise you to take a look into the swing side. When you're seeing stocks like this that are just trending higher, going thousands of %, just take a look at SOFI. I'm going to keep mentioning it until somebody else calls it the next Palantir, because it continues to just take off, right? we brought that stock 16. I mean, the smallest amount of share size could have a monster winner. And that's why I like the swing side of things. Another stock that I just called out, Grail, starting to take off. I call it the Holy Grail as it takes off here. And we'll look for a continued breakout in that name. That's a healthcare AI name.
Great stuff as always. Mitch Hoke over at Trade the Pool. Best of luck today.
And get ready to watch me trade live, boys. I'm ready. Let's go.
Thanks, Mitch.
Thank you, Mitch, there with the flex, hitting that front double. QuantumScape that does look good. It's one of these names that we've seen, forget about what's going on with IonQ, because that's like just absolutely ridiculous. But when you look at some of the growth spec names that have been able to break out technically here, and then the runway that they've gotten when they've continued, regardless of the space, because it's, whether it's quantum computing, whether it's nuclear, whether it's crypto, sometimes it's just a technical play. I love that there's fundamentally this is a company that we all should want to work, because I think it'd be a game changer for EVs, no questions asked. But at the end of the day, this is when this breaks to 15. This is going to be one that you want when it breaks at 15 that day. I don't think it's happening today, as Mitch said. He's looking for a pullback day, but this is a stock. When it starts squeezing through that $15, you set an alert for it when it gets to when it crosses 14 so that you're ready, because that 15 I think is going to be a big one. I don't think it happens today, but it's close enough that it could happen this week. That's for sure.
All right, I was just double checking to make sure that I do have that BBAI order out at 750. So I think that's important to have that order out so that if it gets up there, that everybody gets hit there. Yeah, great call out for SOFI. Couple weeks. Well, I mean, SOFI's been hot fire for a while, but Mitch was talking about it for a minute, and there it comes back in. Yesterday's trade into 29, and then it blasted. So if we get some sort of a dip down, yesterday we started around 29.40. We wrote down 29. It came in. So I think the same kind of a play here today, maybe for SOFI. 29.50 or so right here for SOFI. The sticky note is out. We're going to go over the watch list as well. You can go find all the trades that I was thinking about right here, including BBAI is on the list there as well. But we do have our rundown to go through, and we do have our watch list. Make sure you do scan the QR code right there for Regenix, but make sure you grab the link in the description as well for the watch list. And let's go talk to Sharif and see what the market levels look like.
Oh, yes, absolutely, guys. Let's have a look at the ES. Now, we're looking at the December contract, guys. We're substantially higher than 6,700, so we were using now 6,700 as a point of support with the overnight close yesterday, 6,751, right at that 50-point area. In fact, we're hanging out there right now. 6,752 is what we're printing. So let's use that as resistance. We're going to say that 50-point area, at least initially, will be our first resistance level. If we continue to trend to the upside, it's going to be that 6,775-point area. Or if we really get aggressive, obviously, we're looking at that 100-point area. If we start selling off, Brendo, we defended 67.25 quite well yesterday. So we'll say that 25-point area as our first area of support.
Good. So yeah, make sure you down to the description of this video. Top link in the description will get you to the sign up page for the watch list. It's free every single day. Super easy. All you need is your email address. We do your homework for you and send it out in one nice, neat package. Top of the list this morning, NVIDIA, as it should be, just an absolute monstrous move. Almost $10 straight to the upside yesterday, midday, on the back of that $100 billion deposit into Sam Altman's pocket. NVIDIA investing into OpenAI. Coming back in here a little bit this morning, possibly some antitrust issues with this deal?
Look, Brendo, I've spoken about this before. The circularity of some of these deals, especially that NVIDIA does with CoreWeave and now OpenAI, is, to me, I don't want to say concerning because it keeps continuing to do quite well, but it's something that I want to focus on going forward. So here's the deal. $100 billion by NVIDIA into OpenAI. It's not all coming at once. It's going to be 10 tranches of $10 billion each, and it's going to be based upon OpenAI's valuation at the time. Currently, we know OpenAI raised in the summer with a valuation of $500 billion. So the first $10 billion tranche will be based on that. But they want to build out 100 gigawatts. Well, how many GPUs, Brendo, do you think 100 gigawatts fits? 4 to 5 million. That's what they sold this entire year, Brendo. Not just the one company, but the entire world. That's the kind of scale we're talking about here. So very big. Subsequent rounds will adjust to OpenAI's valuation. So currently at $500 billion. OpenAI named NVIDIA as the preferred partner. They're not using them exclusively for cloud, so they're going to continue to deal with Microsoft and Oracle, but they're going to use them exclusively for GPUs, so no AMD, no anybody else. In addition to that, they are looking, OpenAI that is, at becoming a cloud service business. So they're going to compete with Microsoft Azure, with Google Cloud, with AWS, not just content, Brendo, to be an LLM. They're looking to diversify.
Yeah, we saw that restructuring of sort last week coming through from OpenAI and Microsoft agreeing upon the fact that, you know, they could move further and further in this direction to get to a point where, I mean, if this thing ever comes public, some of the players that are going to be involved.
It might be public at $1 trillion valuation by the time it comes to market, Brendo.
Yeah, absolutely massive. Let's talk about NVIDIA, however, guys. Do we hold this huge move from yesterday?
We're not going to, well, it's not going to hold the, it's not going to give up the whole move. Let's put it that way. So, like, yeah, I mean, 185 is still like the utter brick wall that it's been. So I don't know if we get that break today. But I like 185, 164 on AMD. Like NVIDIA 185 is a breakout. AMD 164 is a big breakout play. The difference is NVIDIA's would be an all-time high, and AMD would not be. But I think either one looks good. It's a little diddle. It's, I know the term probably gets overused, but we're diddling a lot in the middle here with NVIDIA. So it's kind of out and about. You're $3 away from the big breakout price. And if you're dipping back into prior support, which you haven't really established that's all the way just underneath the 180 level by, you know, half a dollar or so. So I think when this happens, I usually like to play in AMD a little bit better. Like AMD's actually holding a consolidation into that 64. I know Mitch mentioned he liked 62, but I like AMD for a push into that 164, an initial fade off of it, and then eventually I think it's a reversal into a breakout. It just, you know, NVIDIA's down 0.8%, I guess, on some of the antitrust concerns, and AMD's holding some of that high. So it just looks a little bit more likely to press into that 164 than I think AMD would get to 185. We'll see. I mean, I think they're very similar levels of resistance up at the top for a couple of names, which tend to move sometimes in concert. I just think your 164 is a more reasonable possibility today.
All right, yeah, yesterday we were lucky enough that in the RRSP, the long-term account, that we bought NVIDIA right off the open just because we liked it, and then the story hits. Like, I mean, just kind of lucky to get that. But as we keep on saying, like, you just got to buy these big mega cap names. I mean, it's, Mitch mentioned it, you know, don't bet against these guys, and I definitely am not. I'm trying to get this frog out of my throat. But I'm also trying to play momentum, right? And right now today, NVIDIA has the opposite momentum that I'm looking for. I want this thing to continue to climb here. If anything, I think it is a fade off that 185. I mean, I don't think I like the long up here until we break. I don't, and I'm fine doing that. I don't have NVIDIA today. We have our sticky note is out. I have it long down here at 180. Like, we got to get to 180 now in order for it to do anything. So if we can get down there, I wrote down 181 there to start with. I'm not sure that's going to be the play, but that was that dip right there that held, which is what I was looking for, and it's the pre-market low. So I'm not in love, although, like, it's the number one, like, it's my number one list on here on the sticky note, but I don't know. Now that I look at it,
we just went to black.
We faded to black.
Oh, it's okay. Oh,
it's okay. Okay, we're okay. I just want to say that I'm not as convinced. I love the even dollar levels. So this 180 to 181, this is kind of the area that I'm looking for. So I don't really want to play with it right in here. A 185 break would be absolutely huge. So if some sort of a news pops and we can get that break through the all-time high, then I'm game on. But it's like that Apple trade from yesterday, and that is like the only trade we waited for. Like, the market was down here. We wrote down as our number one trade yesterday, 250 break. So we wrote that down when we were at like 245, 246. It had to grow into that trade, and then right off the open, you still had to give it $3 or $4, and then eventually it went. Like, it went at 932 or something. But it was a key level that broke, hovered around, and then ripped. So that's kind of like my plan of action here for NVIDIA is, if we can come into this 180, 181, hold it, then maybe rip off that. But it's not like a break or anything. You have to catch a falling knife, and so it's a little bit dangerous. My big play And it's been a good idea to average in because Marvell really got hit off of earnings pretty bad. It was down 18% or something. And I was like, what have I done? Well, all I did was stick with the rules, and we bought on day 3. So, you know, first day, second day, third day. So we got longer. Hey, Randy, how's it going, my guy?
Everything's going.
Great job in the back over there, man. I saw the all the demo. It's been absolutely crushing it back there right now. Yeah, give us an update.
We're rolling. Demo's largely done. So we got to do some grinding and some painting and some
Grinding.
I mean, the problem is that you have to do it off hours and off.
Yeah,
peak, and the
it's
building
a dusty,
doesn't like
filthy, nasty, noisy job, but
It's got to happen.
it's got to happen. So there was some weekend work last weekend. We're trying, folks, to get this done so we can see our new show. It's coming. Just a little more, little.
Are we gonna have a Randy segment in the new show? Or are you building like a little area for like a couch, a little
Like, we have a couch. I don't know.
What are we doing with the couch?
chilling out, just like a chilled out segment?
That's a possibility. The chill out segment.
Yeah, like
What's
a cars
my
with
Rivian doing, by the way?
Randy.
Rivian.
Why you always,
had a
you're
good
always,
week.
you're always worried about
Rivian.
Rivian,
No,
XOM.
There's other stocks in the market, right?
I know, but look.
No, there is not.
It's had a good look at this.
Oh yeah, that's nice. Yeah, nice
look
little
at
run up,
this.
15 and
Yeah,
change right
baby.
here. If we can come over here, Andre, you can see the chart, so people might know what we're talking about. But there's the break right there of 15, Randy. So I like it. I like breaking key levels. And the last top we had was in around $16.5, $17. If you can get up to there, I think it's a sell. But many apparently think it's a buy. So we'll have to wait to see what happens with Rivian. The past high 1850 on Volkswagen news. So we'll wait because now they've broken ground on their Georgia plant, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
I just think their models are just so damn expensive, and I think
So
once
the R2 is going to flip that
Right,
script.
exactly.
And
So that was-
That's
what
the key.
Everybody's hoping, right?
Yeah, that was the
So
next thing
we'll
for
see what
me.
RJ can get his stuff together and get this thing out the door. I'm dying to see it. So
No, me too.
Here
We've
we
Been
go.
down here holding so long.
what is that new Rivian going to
So-
go out at? 75,000, something like that?
No, less. The R2
Less. Okay, good. So
Less,
then,
less.
good. So I can buy it. Okay, Marissa, if you're watching, pick
Buy two.
pick a color.
Randy
Marissa.
wants two.
Randy wants. Yeah, he wants. No, he said for us to buy. Yeah, he wants me to buy 2, one for
Yeah.
him, one for her. But that's
Not
not happening. All right. So yeah, I know what I was in the middle of saying there was about Marvell, and that was just
Wait,
that
oh, shit.
you know. Because we're talking about NVIDIA, next is going to be CoreWeave. You know, you're going to see that there's a lot of opportunity to work in, you know, this whole space to get going. You know, so sometimes it is not just the main ones. We had Mitch talking about AMD, but Marvell has had quite a nice run, and it's kind of stuck in the middle here as well. So we'll have to wait to see if we can take down this $80 mark. But I think this is an upgrade or two away from absolutely blasting off, waiting for better news to come from Marvell. So I think that's a name that we like. But all right, lots of people talking about everything, including CoreWeave, which is hand to hand with this NVIDIA story. So let's go over and have a look here at CoreWeave.
Well, I mean, once you get used to it, it's fine. A couple of analyst moves coming through here right now. Robinhood, one of those. NVIDIA, another one. Evercore raising their price target today to 225 on NVIDIA from 214. I was just watching Robinhood here. Didn't really do anything on that. Let's continue along. We'll talk a little bit of CoreWeave on an upgrade as well. 2 days in a row here. We're gapping nicely to the upside.
Yeah, a couple upgrades. Melius and Wells Fargo both chiming in today. Brendo on CoreWeave. We'll cover Melius here. They boosted the price. They upgraded, I should say, from a hold to a buy. CoreWeave, that is, boosting the price target from 128 to 165. They cite accelerating cloud demand both right now and well into the future as the primary driver. CoreWeave is seen by Melius as a key early adopter of NVIDIA's next-gen systems. We're talking about Vera Rubin. Obviously, we moved on now from Blackwell, believe it or not, despite the fact that they're just starting to make their way into the market. As AI inferencing demand is accelerate, Brendo, Melius expects CoreWeave to benefit massively from scaling cloud workloads. They also like how CoreWeave is working very closely with NVIDIA, positions it to be the first to integrate the latest technology. But as we've spoken of before, the circularity of the business relationship between NVIDIA and CoreWeave shouldn't be understated. They're both vendor, customer, and investor, Brendo, in CoreWeave. So we should view it through that lens.
Guess what else, Sharif?
What else?
There's another treasury stock to watch today.
Oh, baby. Oh, baby.
SILO on a bit of a pullback right now, topped out at 135. We're back to about 90 cents right now. But Silo Pharma shares trading higher after the company announced it signed a strategic agreement with Fireblocks to advance its crypto treasury strategy, acquisition, and security. They're going right across the board, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana.
I love it, Brendo. If this thing's above VU up by the midday, I'm going to be all over it.
Decent volume behind this right now for SILO. We'll keep an eye on that one as well. CoreWeave today, guys, still strong.
Still strong. That's Silo stock.
I mean, Silo Pharma, I mean, they should be getting into crypto. That's what I would be doing. I mean, if I was a pharma company, I mean, I'd just be going all into crypto.
What's sad about it is they're trying to hold the dollar level here. Like it's like if you can get this news to prop it over a dollar and it can hold, then you don't have any risk of delisting risk, obviously, and it can't even hold the buck. Like it did for like 15 minutes, but I mean, come on. Like what's
Silo,
worse?
you're like a month too late on these plays, my guy. Goodness. Come on, man. I mean, now everybody knows what's up.
The only thing more sad than that is the fact that SoundHound is up 3.5%, and the headline is that they're powering phone ordering for Red Lobster. That's literally the head. Like SoundHound did this on a Red Lobster headline.
Okay.
Hey, I had real lobster. I shouldn't say that about lobster from Red Lobster, but when I was in Halifax, we had some lobster, we had scallops. Yeah. That's what you do when you're out East Coast, and I don't think we'll be trading any SoundHound today. Whoops, I went to CrowdStrike instinctively instead of CoreWeave there. It's weird. It is what it is, man. You start typing and CrowdStrike, I love CrowdStrike a little bit more than CoreWeave in the long term, but at the end of the day, CoreWeave, this is a pure continuation play. And when I sat down on the iPad, I was like, well, if we're not breaking out the high, then 130 would be that consolidative level. Like it held that prior high and a pullback pretty cleanly. I think that's the place to look in here today. So if we're thinking we could have a bit of an inside day, like you got NVIDIA in front of some resistance, you got AMD in front of some resistance, you have the market basically barcoding all morning long and overnight as well. So I think when you see that, you got to think a bit of a dip buy scenario. So the 130 level, it's prior high from Friday, and then the afternoon support there on CoreWeave. I think that's going to be the look for me on CRWV. Incidentally, I accidentally pulled up CrowdStrike, but that stock is a beast. I don't like what I've seen. It's managed to fail $500 like 3 days in a row now. I think this is a nice consolidation. When this stock retakes the 500 level, I think it's going to be good. But this is another one kind of holding out for a minute before it makes a run at the top. Sort of incidental, but I don't think it'll be today. But some point this week, I think this retakes the 500 and we go into the highs.
All right. I just want to say, so I love CoreWeave. I think it's a long. I think it's got a punch long. BBAI is starting to go right now again, so it's up another 4% rate here. There was just a story on Big Bear AI. I'm just checking my account to make sure, like I said, that I have the right amount of shares to come out here at 750. So the story on Big Bear AI. Big Bear AI and SMX to enhance maritime domain awareness for U.S. Navy 4th Fleet. I'm almost thinking, man, like when I'm starting to hear Navy contracts, when I'm starting to hear robotics, serve robotics, when I'm starting to hear SoundHound, when I'm starting to hear all these comparisons and all this for Big Bear AI, I think we've got one here, guys. So I think that this might be just not only just a great stock for us to be making. I mean, it's the way this has moved for us has been incredible. You know, all the way down here to buy again and then to buy again and then to have this happen twice now for us, including this move and then back in and then back down. It didn't even take that long to get back up to 850. I mean, we were last year, July 17th, and I know if we're impatient, sure, it's September. You got to wait 3 months, right, or 2 months. But at the end of the day, we're coming right back up there for Big Bear AI. So I really like this 750 area. I was debating actually now offering less shares out because I do think that this name has a great opportunity to get going there. So BBAI. I have it on the sticky note today for a dip buy down there at $7. So you can have a quick little look. The sticky note, I mean, if you're just wondering about what yesterday's sticky note was, there's Apple, Intel, SOFI. And those were 3 for 3 monster trades. Today we're going to go with NVIDIA in that 180 long area. We have Tesla, we're going to talk about that soon. I have Palantir and I have Big Bear AI. And most of them are dip buy opportunities, but yesterday's Apple trade broke through and we took it anyways. So we're just going to try to beast this market one more time here today. And we could, we could wind up taking a hit, but I like the Big Bear AI idea here, and it continues to move higher here. So I'm bidding 7 and change. Let's just wait to see what winds up happening. KVUE again. Oh no! Don't take acetaminophen if you are pregnant, says Donald Trump, based on no scientific evidence.
It's fine. Just take it. It's fine.
I'm staying out of this one, Brando. I'm just going to read the article.
I mean, the market says it's fine.
Yeah.
Anyways.
So here's what's happening. We already talked about this story yesterday, but the Trump administration announced new guidance warnings against the use of acetaminophen, Tylenol during pregnancies. The FDA will actually now require updated safety labels and issue a physician's notice on the label. Robert F. Kennedy, the HHS secretary, said clinicians should prescribe the lowest effective dose for the shortest duration. For their part, KVUE, the maker of Tylenol, strongly disagrees with the move. Medical groups argue that untreated fever or pain in pregnancy actually poses a greater risk. Now, there's 2 different conflicting research that we'll talk about here. There's a Harvard and Mount Sinai review of 46 studies which suggested that prolonged use, meaning 4 weeks or more, may increase the risks of autism and ADHD. But there was another study by JAMA of 2.5 million Swedish children which found no link when comparing siblings, Brendo. So we'll have to see how this all pans out. But Donald Trump took the mic yesterday and started giving pregnant women medical advice, which I found to be interesting.
I'm asking my mother right now.
Yeah.
KVUE, guys?
She did, Brendan. She did.
Yeah, I mean, ask your mother right now. Look, if it doesn't break 19, I don't think I care about. Like, it's you can go. I don't care which way you lie. Price doesn't lie to you, at least. And this was essentially breaking down and looking like a continuation, fall all over itself kind of play yesterday. And now you're up 7%, but until you're breaking away and showing me buyers back above where the support was going into earlier on in the year, then I don't want to touch this one with a 10-foot pole. Like if it starts getting back above $19 specifically, then I think you've got a serious rally off of the lows that, for this stock really just means it could give you 20% into like 24, 25. So yeah, this is a stay away for me until it can start showing buyers above 19. Like maybe the 18.6 like in here too for like a gap trade, but it's literally diddling in the middle. If it wasn't for this gap up, like I was sitting down when I saw this yesterday, when I was traveling yesterday, thinking that this might be a heck of a continuation short play, and now you're gapped up away from that. So it's a no trade for me unless it busts $19, and I think that's pretty unlikely to happen. Just remember, price doesn't lie. It's about what happens to the stock. That's what we care about here.
All right, all right, KVUE, so KVUE. Look, I don't know what to think about this. Obviously, we're no doctors, and I just think it's at a buy zone. If you go back for KVUE, CVUE, I think it's too dangerous to buy this stock here, but you just made a pretty epic low right there. We've seen, obviously some bad news happening with UNH, and then they eventually got the bounce or not. Like, that was a pretty big level that we crushed through yesterday. So I don't think it's time to buy any dips, right? I mean, we were just at all-time highs, not all-time highs, sorry, 52-week highs back here in May. And now we're falling down, cutting, I was gonna say down about 40% or so from that level. So I think it's getting close to being a buy zone there, but it's very, very sketch. Like if data comes out that does, I mean, sure, like Sharif said there, maybe increased use, potentially, causing harm. So I think there's going to be some studies that come out, I'm sure, that hurt this stock. So up 6.5% today. I know there are people trying to catch that dip and bring it back up into $18 again. So that's that key level. For me, it's still a fade. If you get up to $19, I would still fade this name. So it's just like, this is just a relief rally bounce, in my opinion, So I would be shorting KVUE if it gets up to 19. Let me just have a quick KVUE, quick little look here at what the imbalance is looking like for the short side of things. It's only 3% short float, so it could get a lot heavier and force this thing to the downside. I feel like the short is the right play in the name, regardless of what you think about the science. There's just too much pressure. And when you have other names to go long on in the market these days, I mean, the markets are at all-time highs. I don't think you need to be catching too many falling knives here, but nothing wrong with if your idea is to eventually pick up 1,000 shares, like pick up 100 or two right now, like 10 or 20% on this dip. But I don't think today's the right day, because I think you're giving up 6%. I think that the day to have done that might have been yesterday, knowing that President Trump and crew was coming out with that story, right? We knew about it all day. So I think yesterday was the time to buy, and then today might be the time to sell. So I would say that KVUE does come back into the $17 area, and then I think at that point it's worth something. So, take it, J&J. On the other side of it, this is part of the reason why J&J and then some of these companies are spinning these divisions off to get away from some of that. So J&J yesterday falling as well. Now, I don't know legally if anything can hit the big company or not, but, I think that it's better to let the space calm down until we get either an all clear. The FDA is going to start putting out warnings now, apparently. If they do, I think that's maybe worse for that. But I also did hear that as far as pain, and if there's any doctors in the chat here, I don't think there's much you can take when you're pregnant for pain resolution.
You've limited options.
Yeah, so I think you either have to, maybe if you didn't want to take acetaminophen, then you got to kind of suck it up, which I think a lot of parents probably do. But yeah, that's a tough one, man. That's a tough one. So my hat's off to all the mothers out there for giving us the wonderful, childbirth experience that we don't have to go through. So we want to thank all of that for that. And I hope that the studies can come out and prove this to be false. But for right now, I think it's a little too dangerous to get in there and buy these dips.
Tesla, we mentioned it early on if you're with us in the first 30 minutes, but here's a look right now back to 440, trying to hold just below that. Two-way action, crazy two-way action yesterday. A couple of things to note here, some China news this morning, or China-related news this morning, and also UBS coming out with an increase on their Q3 delivery target, which is kind of nice.
Yeah, look, see that uptrend line on the chart that you're showing there? It looks fantastic. Look at that. That's just clean, Brendo. All right, so Mizuho also chiming in today on Tesla, boosting the price target from 375 to 450, maintaining that outperform rating. They did slightly trim their 2026 delivery forecast to 1.91 million, down from previously what they had guided 1.95, but that's still above consensus. They're saying the key catalysts here include a cheaper Model 2 and a potential launch of the robo-taxis. I also really like Elon Musk's $1 billion share repurchase program that he did on his own, as well as his updated pay package, saying that aligns well with the long-term focus of the company. They're also pricing in tariffs to be a little bit less, Breno. They were talking about possibly $3,400 to $3,600 per vehicle in addition to the cost. Now they're saying about $1,200, so about half that. Just want to give some comparisons here, because Tesla delivered about 55,000 vehicles in the U.S. in August. Brendo, GM delivered 21,000. I know that's less than half, but that seems to be a little bit closing the gap there, because I remember GM reporting single digits per month, if even that. So not bad look.
More options, at least, for consumers, guys. What do we do here? I mean, we're kind of stuck in the range from yesterday right now.
Yeah, I actually like the 430 on Tesla, but just very quickly, we have some of the balances are some decent sized ones early. KVUE actually almost 1 million shares to the buy side. BBAI 600,000 to the buy side.
Yeah.
Plug Power, which has been a big 3-day runner, that's up another 11% today. Almost 400,000 in there to the buy side. So a few imbalances certainly leading the way this morning. Look, 430, it dipped into it broke out 430 Tesla, it dipped 430. And that was prior resistance. So that's the first obvious level that I'm looking for a continuation playoff. As long as it's over that, I want to think long, but 434 prior close gives you a bit of a consolidation level for a dip and rip. So I'm looking dip and rip here on Tesla.
Yeah, I have Tesla written down here on the sticky note today, near the top at a 438 long. So just coming right back into the pre-market. I mean, I think the good China data speaks volumes. I really love the stock and the way it's been moving. So obviously yesterday we had a little bit of a dip buy opportunity. We didn't trade it yesterday. Should have maybe down there, but it did hold 430. So, if you do get that dream, that would be great to get that. But for right now, there's the bounce right off of our level. Like, I don't know. we're going to wait for that, but that's where the 200 period moving average is. And we said it yesterday, Tesla has huge opportunities and just moves like crazy off the open. So yesterday we had a move up $14. Could get it again there today. I don't like this break level long though on the open. I just think it runs into too many problems. So for me, the real long is around 4:45, a minute to go. Look, Apple was the biggest trade yesterday. Let's go find out some news, and then we got one more minute to go.
Lots of positivity coming through, initial reactions, initial reviews, including Sharif's on the iPhone 17. We're starting to get going right now here.
Yeah, not a bad look, Brendo. No real headline today. We'll watch for continued strength as we come into that 260 technical resistance.
Yeah, a lot of higher than expected potential sales numbers being thrown around, guys, on social media. We'll see. So far, so good here today for Apple.
Buy imbalance?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't see.
No, I just saw a couple of things. No imbalances on Apple, but it actually just spiked a little bit, and Broadcom spiked down about $1 or so. But like Apple, I'm not really looking for the breakout here today on Apple. I was like thinking of 250, but that seems like it's ridiculously unlikely. The opening bell brought to you by Origenics on the NYSE. That's OGEN for this Tuesday. Let's get it started. How about right now?
Yeah, we're open already.
We're open right now, literally as we speak. Just want to give, wow, first move upside here on BBAI. Looks like the 7 might have to wait. That's on the note for sure. Tesla to the downside, NVIDIA to the downside right off the open, AMD to the downside off of the open. So, yeah, might not get that push in the 164 on AMD just yet. And I want to give a shout out, obviously, to our good friend, that's Silo. That's your crypto, treasury play of the morning. It spiked to 99 cents right before the open. So this is very much a potential dollar break. We've seen this before with penny stocks. So crypto treasury play, but it's right at the 98 cent level. Going to be watching that $1 very closely here. All
right, we have Tesla right now at 438. It is coming back in just a little bit. And by the way, bang, we get filled on our Big Bear AI, $4 to $7.50 right there on Big Bear AI. So we'll do the old chicken dinner winner whatever dance right there, and there it goes now, breaking up. So like I said, I actually canceled the amount of shares and went a little bit lower on there, getting out of 10% of BBAI. I was going to do 15%, only got out of 10% there on Big Bear AI. But this is the trade that we've got right now. It was written on our board, on my board there for Tesla. Go Big Bear AI. Holy shit. That's going to be a good move there for sure, man. All right, man. Maybe we'll have to join Sharif and buy a new iPhone here. All right, so 436 bottom right now for Tesla. So we got to watch out for that area, 436. If that breaks lower, then we are out right now. That's what we had written down on here. So let's focus on our Tesla trade. Get a little bit more, 437.50. If it can come back in, we'll do that. But right there it is already. It's your first Dollar Club winner of the day, and it is right there with Tesla. So see ya. We wrote down 438. It's $1 in the money. Let's see if it continues to work. It's TSLA right now on the mend for me. Hopefully it gets a little bit higher.
Yeah, hopefully it gets to that 445. Silo not doing anything at that $1 level, unfortunately. So it looks like that breakout's going to be not happening just yet. We'll keep an eye on that. BBAI, I'm going to cancel the 7, at least for now. The prior high is 720, and that sets up with VWAP. So the continuation looks like it's going to be into that level there. If we get a pullback, that's always a big if. It's not a guarantee that we're going to get that dip into VWAP, but a lot of times if there is a pullback, that's where we see it. AMD very much not. AMD and NVIDIA are doing nothing at the open. There's right back to where we were. No break to test the high to even think about being able to fade it. And NVIDIA, unfortunately, yeah, this one. I mean, I guess they got this. I got this antitrust thing that they're talking about. Not antitrust, but non-competitive scrutiny that I guess this OpenAI deal has going with it. That's sort of weighing on NVIDIA a bit here. So that's starting to come back in. Gonna have to be patient. Looking to buy some dips, BBAI in particular. We'll see about that AMD, but it looks like one that wasn't on the docket this morning is gone. Ooh, IonQ just came back to VWAP. I'll get to Palantir's up 3%, breaking up.
Ooh, good.
But IonQ, which did have it was like a quantum networking breakthrough. And that was an all-time high, right into the volume-weighted average price. As long as it's over prior high, I'm looking for the longs. But we got some VWAP here on I on Q. Nice. At least that came back into VWAP. Palantir probably not going to anytime soon.
Tesla's having petite problem right now.
Is there a story on it?
Palantir ripping or what? Yeah, they got a price upgrade at B of A. So I had that written down on our list there as well. But right now we have some damage control that we have to put on for Tesla. So let's see where it can go right now. But Tesla starting to get back up to the upside. There's our 436 just came into play. So I'm going to start to clap out a little bit right now, as we do have a decent position here for Tesla. It just came right into our level, man. I mean, we bought a little, and bought a lot. So right now, if it drops back down through, we'll take the L, but we are there. It's almost out. 435.75 break. We're out there on Tesla. So yeah, man, what goes up, I guess, comes down here again today. So there goes Tesla to the downside. There it goes breaking lower. So all right, we'll take a little bit of a hit there on TSLA. Lost. I know we at the end of the day there we had about 2 units, so a little bit of a hit there. I don't want to give it up yet though, but the market is ripping, and I'm not sure what's going on there with Tesla. I was saying the biggest trade of my career has been, obviously not my career, but my investing career, I guess, has been Palantir, and it's getting right back up to the upside again right now. I do have an offer at 190 just because it's the high, all-time highs for Palantir. But if you told me buying this thing at $9 or $10, we'd eventually get 190. I mean, obviously I would have put a hell of a lot more money into it, but there goes Palantir cooking now to the upside. NVIDIA still has that 180 level to it, so I don't mind waiting to see if 180 comes into play here for NVIDIA. I'm bidding right now 180, 180s, so if that feels great, and then we're bidding 180, 180, 105. Oh, we just got filled. No, we didn't. What am I doing? My NVIDIA 180, 105. I'm not sure why that just didn't fill there, but okay. I'm going to have to refresh because I should get that. Yeah, AMD's upside right now?
AMD just broke. It's a 1.5% to the upside. Oh, I hit enter. I swear I did. We'll hit enter again, and there's AMD going into that top. So AMD looking super strong, but look, the market is coming back in here a little bit. It was all sideways in the Nasdaq all morning, all overnight, and it's essentially an inside day today. So you got to look for where the relative strength and weakness is going to be. And right now, it seems like AMD has some relative strength. IonQ gave me VWAP and then bounced off the prior high. That's ONQ. Off the prior high, but it just lost a bid. So we lost at VWAP, and then we got the dip into the prior high. That came back into 50s, but now starting to come right back in through the low. So IonQ giving up the ghost a little bit here. I have 434 on Tesla. That could come into play. I'm just looking up here. It looks like it did come pretty close.
Yeah, it did.
Actually, it did. I'm sitting at 40, Daryl Strawberry. 44, 434, 44. That came pretty darn close there on Tesla, but I'm going to stick with it. I mean, the market's still pulling back and looking, I mean, it's still holding the overnight low. If we don't lose the overnight low, then I don't think you're in necessarily panic mode. And BBAI might be doing its pullback into, right now would be the volume weighted average price. But the breakaway was at 730 where we were at the open. So this could get a little bit underneath VWAP. Before there's any kind of a bid, but I do want to start it at the volume weighted average price. If we get to 7, I think that's a separate trade here on BBAI. Like that's, let 7 speak for itself. That even dollar. I want to try it at the volume weighted average price first on any kind of a dip.
Yeah, we're when I said 750 before, that was just my getting out on the PA there for BBAI. So I'm still bidding $7, as Neil mentioned there. Nasdaq moved down, right? We did have the Dow hitting record highs today as well. So that's part of the movement today as well in this market. I'm just going to wait for 180 to fill there on NVIDIA and then give it down a break of 180 and we can get out. So we'll wait to see what winds up happening right here for NVIDIA. I don't mind. Oh, well, NVIDIA just flew down just a little bit right there and picked us up. So we did get a little bit of a dip down in there into the 40s right now for NVIDIA. So here it comes, coming right back in. Right now is NVDA, and we're just we'll buy what we buy and see what winds up happening. Maybe double up a little bit closer to 180. I like the Tesla break back above 437, so it was going to be VWAP. So I wanted to see if that was going to play. We don't need to be into that until that level breaks. So I'm going to wait for Tesla to come through again. CVUE, KenView, quickly. Quick little check there to see if anything's going on that name. No, right now, nothing going on there. Marvell's hitting the scanners here as well. I guess just hitting VWAP. So we're going to wait on all these VWAP trades. The market needs to get going back up to the upside first. And if that happens, then giddy up on that one. I see Neil's in Big Bear AI, and we have Adara right now back over at the desk.
Keep an eye here on American Airlines, guys. AAL on watch, apparently experiencing a data breach I'm seeing here on X, impacting 2 million users. So AAL is going to be on watch. I also want to remind you guys at 9:45 a.m., so in about 7 minutes, we will be getting S&P Services and Manufacturing PMI. Then at 9:50 a.m., we will be getting Trump speaking here at the United Nations. At 10 a.m., we get Fed's Bostic. So lots of data coming up in the next 20 minutes or so. Back to you.
All right.
Yeah, so like we get a lot of data. We also have Powell speaking. Powell's at the middle of the day. I don't know what he could say that's going to be that big of a deal, but you want to watch out for it when it does happen. Tesla might not get that 434. I'm just going to cancel it for now. Anytime you put if I have a bid that's like 20 cents underneath the morning low, like that, either we bounce off this low or I can search back later. So I want to see this low hold. 434.5 is close enough to 434 that if I see us bounce off this again, I'm going to go for that long here in Tesla. Just checking up AMD, still strong, not at VWAP yet, but AMD still looking pretty strong. Holding 161 and a third. That's up 1 1/3 with the market heading down and the other chip names that I'm watching heading down. But right now I'm looking at Tesla. Can it hold this 435 here for a higher low? The buyers come in and then I'm going to join them. BBAI is starting to go back up again.
Yeah.
If it can close above VWAP, I want to add. But I need to see it close above VWAP. That's going to be a big deal. Right? I mean, Tesla can't hold 435. They just blew through that pretty quickly. So let's see if they can reestablish. They just did.
It's trying to hold.
When I say they, you know, I mean just like the market in a general sense. Like it's like there's no secret people out there that are trying to hold on to it.
No.
At all.
We have
Funds protection team.
We have Shopify also potentially making all-time highs here today, but it's having a little bit of a dip down. Everything right now is, I mean, the Nasdaq's just slowly giving some stuff up, and this is why it wasn't like the most convincing day to hammer into some of these longs. By this time yesterday, we already had the Apple long. We already had SOFI long, off the bottom at 29 bucks. So yeah, lots of opportunities in this market today to catch falling knives, but we're not doing too much of that right yet. We got to be very, very patient with what we're trying to do here today because this market continues to go lower. So I think the short right now, is what you want to look at. Yeah, Tesla's still going down here. And then I'm averaging in right now into NVIDIA. We didn't get 10s long, but we're long at 180.50. Like this is something that we could definitely swallow here. Like this is not a big move yet even for NVIDIA, but down 2%, giving some back from yesterday. And it looks like the sell the news here is happening in this name, right? And there it is. Okay, so there's the break right there of 180. It does give it back a little bit, which is nice to see. So we'll see if it holds. But see, normally you want that next bump to continue at least 20 or 30 pennies to show you that buyers are there trying to hold this thing up. But right now, it does not look like that for NVIDIA. So we're going to get something out in the teens we just did, if we're able to. But it looks like it wants to give it up here for NVIDIA. So not great early here for NVDA. It's battling, there it goes. I was going to say it's battling this 180, but looks like it wants to give it up. So yeah, we'll hit the fail on the longs here today because down goes everything right here in the market, I think. I don't know, hopefully
pretty much everything.
Hopefully Big Bear AI is holding up, but I don't, right now, the mega cap's definitely not.
No, nothing's holding up very well. I mean, Tesla just bounced off 434 again, so at least it held green for now, but the first look at that 35 level was no good. So 35 didn't hold, 34 did. I mean, when your level's 34, maybe you wait till 34 next time. Not Caterpillar, not Intel, apparently, as well.
Go.
So what the heck's going on with Intel? Intel is going ham to the upside.
Oh, booyaka.
So 3% for Intel, all green candles, all strength into a weak market. That wouldn't be the first time that Intel was counter-trend to the market. It's Micron that actually reports tonight, but Intel's the one that's taking the juice. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, everybody. And a quick reminder, if you're putting symbols in the chat, like Intel, I saw, make sure you use that $sign. Not calling anybody out, but I saw a few people putting Intel in there without the $sign. Better is number one on the list right now in Open Door and Plug. Plug Power is having a day. Plug Power is actually having a week, believe it or not. I don't know what the heck's going on with that intel. So Tesla at 434 now holding pretty decently. Let's see if this one can get back to VWAP. Sellers, there's a lot of sellers at 436.50. It does seem. Afternoon resistance, VWAP. Market's looking pretty weak so far. So unless you're looking at a runner or you're looking at, I don't know, Intel's the only strong name that I can see, really. Palantir was strong, too.
Yeah, tough trading so far here today. But we want to thank everybody for joining us. We're just in NVIDIA right now watching out. I mean, we've got a winner on. We're in the money 20 cents on a decent position. So I'm just trying to cover a little bit of this as we continue to go higher because, you know, it's not right yet here for NVIDIA. Normally, I'd like to see it break above VWAP to get going again. But here we go, man. We're long at 18. See how it just keeps on stopping up there? I'm going to put it. OK, let me take another offer right here at 35 if we can get it. We do have manufacturing PMI coming in 1 minute, so that should be an interesting level there as well to see if it holds 180 against those numbers. I'm at 180.35 right there. We just get some more out as it continues to climb higher. So, so far so good over up in there. Let's go right now, man. If NVIDIA goes, we make everything back in spades. So hopefully that is what winds up happening. Uber down to 99, not good. For me on Tesla, I'm still waiting for like a 437 break. Hopefully that can wind up happening. We have Adara with numbers right now.
Yeah, in about 20 seconds here, we are going to be getting S&P Services, Manufacturing, and Composite PMI. Services, we're expecting 54. Forecast for S&P Manufacturing is 52.2. S&P Composite forecast is 54. All of these numbers are expected to be a little bit lower than their previous prints. S&P Services PMI, we'll do this one first as we get these numbers coming through. Services coming in at 53.9, slightly below estimates of 54. Global Composite PMI at 53.6, below estimates of 54.6. Manufacturing 52. Lower than 52.2 expected. So again, just to recap, all of these numbers below their forecasts and below the previous print. Here's the market trying to find a little bit of a base here on the Nasdaq as we digest these numbers. Again, lower than expected across the board. In 5 minutes, we get Donald Trump speaking at the UN. I have the stream open already. There is a woman speaking currently. As things transition to President Donald Trump, I will let you know. Back to you.
Thank you, Derek.
There it goes. NVIDIA flew down.
Just rang the register at VWAP. We got to VWAP on Tesla, and that's so far holding up as resistance at 436.50, the half dollar. You go back to yesterday, this was the afternoon resistance as well. So 34 looks like it'll be the dip buy zone for me. Still don't know what's going on with Intel in terms of like the ridiculous strength that it has. Oh, BBAI is starting to crest a little, not crest. Curl is that's the word I'm looking for. Curl off of the prior day high. So prior day high bounces. It also happens to be VWAP as well. So if you like that, well, at least it was off the open. If we get to 750, I think we got to take another leg out there. Half dollars matter on some of these smaller stocks. So I think that could be a little bit of resistance spot here for BBAI on the way to what 760 is the current high. So we'll take another leg out in front of 750, see if this one has the juice to the upside. And Silo did break. Oh, no, it did not. The resident crypto treasury play of the day did not break the dollar level. It actually went exactly to $1 without breaking. So this has not gone through the dollar. I think this is just one of those, I hate to say it, but I'm going to take the break at $1 and give it a couple of pennies. Like if it just flies and halts higher or some nonsense, then we're all over it.
Told you we're taking Tesla hard, breaking 437, so now it's a $2 winner. So we're trying to make everything back on Tesla. Let's wait to see what winds up happening. New trade alert right now as well. There goes AMD is in your boys' portfolio now. We're not going to, look, we lost on NVIDIA. Now, NVIDIA is probably going to climb back, but it broke that 180 we got out. So it's just too much pressure on this name. Let's go over and find a different one to pick on right now. So we'll see if we can make it all. Look at this. Here we go, man. Now 40 cents in. Let's take some more out. We'll get some out at 10s there on AMD. So yeah, buddy, man, this is starting to work out for us. Sure, we'll lose on NVIDIA. We'll flip over and go back over here. And then we're sitting right now in this monster trade, hopefully, for Tesla. We'll see if we get something out at 438.90 right there on the top end of that. So there's the break. I said we were taking the break of VWAP. That's VWAP exactly right there, 437. So we take that. It just goes up $2 there, but we missed. Oh, well, actually, we got something. We got some out at 70s or whatever that is. But we're looking for just a little bit more right here. And there goes AMD. Come on, man. We can make this day special still, everybody. There goes AMD. Yeah, let's go. Spin the money right now. $2 in the money on these two trades. Thank you for watching, everybody. I hope you're having a good time right now. Sure, we got ahead of NVIDIA, but look where this thing is right now. We wrote down 180, and it's at 180.50, but it does break, and we wind up getting out. But then just go over, pat yourself on the back, and make another trade if you can find it. And there it is right there with AMD. Shout out to Mitch and everybody. I know there's a lot of traders looking at AMD today, although he called the 162. That was a fake and break right there. But again, the whole market, the whole market just came back in a little bit there. So let's give these names some room to run. We do love some Palantir there today, 185. Let's go, man. Wow, that was a good move to the downside. That's 250 now from the bottom. Yeah, but great. I mean, right there, like if you got that downside into there, what a good move that would have been right now. But okay, we're quite large here on AMD, so let's go over to Adara. But AMD right here is making it sing.
We got some exciting news for all you Canadian sophisticated traders. Beta Pro by Globex Canada has just launched 6 new triple leverage ETFs offering 3x bull and 3 times bear exposure to the S&P TSX 60, semiconductors, and U.S. Treasuries. And even better, everybody, they're offering a special fee rebate, dropping management fees to just 65 basis points until the end of the year, December 31st of this year. These ETFs also employ currency hedging to seek to neutralize U.S. dollar exposure, providing performance that may more accurately reflect the underlying U.S. equities. If you're a tactical, sophisticated trader looking to amplify your performance, check out betapro.ca 3x daily to learn more. Let's go to Adara as the market tries to bounce.
Let's take a look here. Just be aware of the market. Fed's Bowman saying that she sees 3 rate cuts total for 2025. So that would imply 2 more cuts this year because we already got that cut in September. Now, this is significant because we have had a lot of talk from other Fed members that is a little bit more hawkish or cautious. Fed's Bowman continuing to see 3 rate cuts for this year. So again, that would imply 2 more rate cuts as we've generally seen priced in. Back to you.
Nothing we could do. Okay, Bowman. So we're like we only got out of half of our Tesla. So this one could be again like just too much stress on this trade. So I don't, we'll buy it there. We're going to get out if it breaks below. I just put a trigger in there, 435.75. So we're moments away from stopping out. And I think this is what, if you're joining us for the first time, risk management is utmost of importance right there. Yeah, what the hell's going on with Amazon? I want to buy that name, but there goes Tesla right now. We're almost in the dollar right here for AMD, so that's going to be a good trade for us. I'm sitting at 161.70. Let me get some out here at 57. But yeah, what's the story there with AMZN? Because I want to buy that one.
Look, Amazon had that story about antitrust and Prime, specifically how they're making it too difficult for Prime members to get out of their contracts and deceiving practices in terms of getting people to sign up. So that's the story, and there hasn't been a green candle since the open here on Amazon. You prove a 50 period. This, for myself, I'm probably throwing a stink bid at the 200 period moving average on this thing in my PA at lunchtime. I just think those are the moments you usually want to pick up these types of names. Oh, that silo did break. I'll get to BBAI just broke the high of the day.
I better mess.
Oh, it didn't break. Okay, well, you know what? It breaking the dollar was me. So I'm going to get out. Apparently, my stop order caused the dollar break. Must have triggered on a dark pool or something, but it never really went over $1 on sale. If it gets, I might just wait till it takes VWAP instead of the dollar. A dollar is a round number, but VWAP seems to be a better place to look. But I want to keep an eye on this. This is a treasury, just another crypto treasury play. To me, if it holds $1, there's all kinds of upside potential if you can be in early. And if I'm ever in one of these, I want to be in it before it breaks the high of the day, not chasing it after. So I just immediately punched out when I see there's no buyers over that $1 level and go back over. Sure, guys, BBAI got right back to the high. Didn't mean to rhyme that, but it kind of does. Look, if this takes out 770 on BBAI, there's not much standing in its way. Forget about $8. $8 obviously a big deal, but this $8.50 going into the July, like that's the big resistance, 8 to 8.50 as it's trying to take the 770. Just get Randy, he'll reset the breaker. So 770, the big level up here. I've already scalped out into this level. Now we're holding through the breakout on BBA, up 8%. There wasn't a catalyst, Sean, that I'm aware of with BBAI.
There was.
What was the catalyst?
New deal that's this morning.
Oh, they got a new deal this morning. Okay, I was just looking at that 7 that held yesterday.
Yeah.
Because to me, technically, it was so perfect off of 6, and then perfect going into the 7 level, and we're holding 7 again here today. So BBAI looking good, at least so far. I want to rejoin Tesla. The 34 is already held. So 34 into VWAP. Now I want to see VWAP try to hold here to get that play back into the high of the day. And I don't, like, here's the thing. SOUN is running and it just broke the high of the day. I'm gonna let everybody know. The story here that I saw this morning, which I'm assuming is the only story for these guys, and now we've just lost power.
You guys lost power too?
Now we've just lost power. Okay. Can you guys hear us?
No, no, they can't. I mean, maybe. Andre, Andre.
You guys can still hear us and see us? Okay, so just so you know, we also lost power at our trading station, but if you can hear us and you can see us, and they just went again. No, it's fine. We'll keep talking, but just know that we've lost power to the station. This is not the first time that it has happened. It has happened before. As that's what happens when you're doing construction. Another good reason to trade with stop orders, I would tell you that much, because thankfully we have stopped.
I know.
Can you just let them know what's going on and off? No. Okay, it's gone on.
So just gotta bear with us, guys.
Yeah, just bear with us.
At the end of the day, I just want to tell everybody, like, thankfully you guys, we're all here together. I just texted some of my friends there about Big Bear AI, and I want to tell everybody, like, I covered some at 750. I think it's been such a huge run up. But thanks everybody for sticking it out. We are doing a lot of work around here, and I guess power supply is an issue of right now. We do have generators working in the back. I mean, that when we hear the fan go off, you know that something's happened. You know, so they blew up over there, and now we blew up right here. So hopefully we don't even, like, we're completely off everywhere except for this one camera. So
which is a bit weird.
Yeah, which is a bit weird. But at the end of the day, I think what you need to do when the market. Oh, first of all, let's talk about this. If your system goes down, we still have a complete back office.
Yes.
So if if I'm in position, but I have stop orders.
No, if you didn't have a stop order out, then what you would do here at Real Trading is you could hop on the phone if you lost an internet connection or whatnot, or you could go into support on your own phone, and you could say flatten me on this position, like all that kind of stuff. But like we're going to be back up here in just a couple of minutes.
Yeah, I was going to say always.
Power is back, just a boot. Yeah,
log back. I have to log back in here in a second once it loads up. But while it's in the process of loading, I have my screens are up. Here you go. Hopefully people can.
I think we got to go to Adara here because we also can't hear.
I don't think they can go to Adara.
Yeah,
we can. Okay.
We can.
I just want to provide an update, guys. Donald Trump has not yet begun speaking. We currently have Lula, president of Brazil. He's been speaking here. Trump was set to start at 9:50 a.m., but it could be the program's a little bit behind. As I mentioned, there are quite a few speakers happening, and even the stream link I have isn't just a Trump. It's the whole event. If I get any more details, I will let you know. But just an update. If you're waiting for Trump, he has not yet spoken. I will certainly let you know when he takes the podium, and back to you.
When I know I'm long and the market is tanking. Okay, well, there we go. So our positions, so it looks like we got stopped out of our Tesla, which is fine by me. And our AMD was already about $1 or so in the money. So hopefully that can hold out. We are just in the process. Give Neil and I a second here to log back in to our software. And then hopefully the show will continue as per usual. And these are just some of the things that, we all have to go through when you're trading with technology. And unfortunately, our studio is under major, I'm trying to log in, under major renovation right
I know,
now.
I'm doing the same thing.
Hopefully no one can make out what my passwords are.
Like, trust me when I tell you that if it's never happened to you, we had this happen multiple times at when we had our own trading floor, and we would immediately call the trade support because we had a situation where I don't remember. I think it was a cable provider. Somebody was doing work behind our building. Yeah, this was years and years ago, and we lost internet. Like, everybody lost internet. Yeah. I remember we were on the phone because we actually had to get flattened positions and stuff like that. But if you're trading with stocks,
I can see the chat again.
Are you logged back
in? What's up, everybody? My software is taking just forever to log back in. I don't know.
It's taking a minute.
It'll be a second here before we get up. But Bitcoin 112.9 right now, according to my. Let me just actually refresh my Binance screen over here. Just here, we can just have a quick look at what crypto's doing. Yeah, 112.951 right now for BTC as that continues continues to move around here. We can have a look. I mean, again, if we go over to like a 15-minute chart there for crypto, it looks like we do have decent levels here of 112.9. I don't think we have internet. I don't know if we have internet or something. I'm not connecting, but okay, the Bitcoin price is changing, so yeah, something's working out right here. Yeah, I'm not able to log into our software yet, so hopefully that will work out for us. But yeah, there it is. Okay, we're getting back live right now. So okay, coming back in. Oh no, Tesla came, oh now it's just showing no positions. Okay, Tesla came back upside right here. So maybe the market is retracing back to the upside right now, but we did lose out. Okay, we did lose out on Tesla, it looks like there as it dropped right through the bottom, of course. And AMD, I guess, that got stopped out a little bit there as well. So yeah, during that move down, everything came back in. So it's all good. You know, we did have our stop orders out. We were getting out of AMD, and actually it's pretty good that we got out near the top there for advanced micro devices. So we'll be green on AMD, but you know, pending, we might have got a little bit more out there at VWAP. I'm going to try the long one more time here for advanced micro devices and just see what winds up happening, because it is a trade that I want to get into. So that's what we're doing right now. We're just going to reconnect everything, make sure our stream is going pretty good. It looks like it is here right now. So yeah, thanks for bearing with us right now as we get this all figured out.
Yeah, thank you everybody for bearing with us. We do have some numbers and happening now, so let's get right on over to Adara.
Yeah, in about 30 seconds here, we'll get not a huge number, but it's definitely something worth watching. Richmond Fed Composite Index, forecast -5, previous -7. Again, I want to clarify, Donald Trump has not yet taken the podium, but he was set to start speaking at 9:50 a.m. Maybe because the program is delayed, we do still have comments coming from Lula of Brazil. Now, also at 10 a.m., Fed's Bostic is going to be speaking, so I'll provide any coverage of what he's saying here. If there's anything of note, -5, again, is the forecast for Richmond Fed Composite Index. Let's see what number we get. I'm just waiting for this to refresh. Not seeing the number yet for Richmond Fed. We'll get back to that in a second. Market, though, continuing to fall. Again, lots of speeches on watch beyond Trump. We also have Fed Chair Powell at around 12:35 p.m. NVDA on watch, one of many chips on the move here. NVDA, much like the market, pushing a little bit lower. But Evercore ISI actually raising its price target on the stock. Lots of positive commentary on NVIDIA. Again, as the company does, I guess, have people digesting the news of its $100 billion investment in OpenAI, or up to $100 billion. Then we have Micron reporting earnings after the bell, and contrary to the market and its fellow semiconductor stock, NVIDIA, Micron's relatively strong today. Let's see if we have that Richmond Fed number before I send you guys back to the desk. I am still not seeing anything. If it's of note, I'll put it on the screen there, guys. Back to you.
Yeah, thank you, Adara. And looks like...
I can't believe Tesla slipped.
No, like everything started coming back in pretty heavily.
Tesla's going, yeah, BBAI is $8.
I'm now going to move this trail, because
so glad
when it gets to $8, if it gets to $8, I'm saying when, you know what I mean. If it gets to the $8 level, I think that's obviously psychological resistance. But this is close enough that if it breaks trend, I'm moving my stop. So the stop goes from underneath the pre-market lows to essentially breaking this trend line, which will be at about 770. And this is holding up pretty well. I think when the market's, we talk about this all the time, like when the market is weak, sometimes where you can find the strength is going to be in some kind of a small capper, a gapper, or a runner, and not necessarily the big names. Although there are some strong names. Apple actually not doing too badly in all of this. Oh, load up, baby. Apple holding the volume weighted average price, also holding green. So this looks like a relatively strong name for sure. That Silo stock I'm keeping an eye on. It's tried to bust a buck, and I'm glad I did not get back into this crypto treasury play yet. Like, it's holding and trying to break, but every time it gets above a buck, see how it sells off? I think waiting for it to get to VWAP is going to be a better idea here, and hold over VWAP. So still the same plan of action on SILO. So I want to thank everyone for bearing with us there. I did want to go back and acknowledge, well, it was I'm trying to remember who was at the top of this list before. It wasn't BBAI. It was another small Plug Power, I think, was at the top of the list, but now Plug is way down there. BBAI taking over, so thank you guys for participating. UNH we haven't looked at. That's making a strong move. Better, I believe Better was yesterday's runner.
Yeah, there was
BTR. That was the...
that was an open door guy.
It was the open door dude said this is the... Whatever. It's these guys are the open door mortgages, I think is what he's called it.
Yep.
But UNH, that's one that we have not looked at this morning. SoundHound, we know SoundHound has this Red Lobster headline. I'm not going long on a Red Lobster headline. It's not, it doesn't make any sense to me. But it's a squeeze play. So, respect to SoundHound for squeezing to the upside on, I believe it is all of the phone ordering will be handled by SoundHound technology. But I don't know, isn't Red Lobster going bankrupt? So
they are. I think they already are. I see JPM hollered at you guys in the chat there. JP Morgan now new all-time highs, and oh boy, do we love that name here on the show. I mean, this is like the bank play that I made. We're almost $100 in the money here off that 230 dip from April. So that was one of the bigger plays that I made back in April. So we're happy with the performance there of JPM going up here today, up that 1%, and again taking out highs. It's too bad because when we went down there, the Tesla trade did come out literally at the bottom again, right there. But nice move back up to the 200 period, and then now look, failing one more time. And we did have a reload there on our good friend AMD, and that name as well came out right there at the bottom, but I just bought it right back anyways. So kind of negating that loss and now taking it back to the upside goes AMD. It's going to be P&L number 1 here today is going to be AMD, but more to come hopefully as this name just dancing around right now. Advanced Micro Devices. We'll see if we can get going there again. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. The more hitting the like and subscribing, the less the power goes out. So hopefully
it keeps the power running.
It'll keep the power running. Yes, that's a good one there. All right, IBIT. I don't know if IBIT's doing anything because I'm looking here at Bitcoin and it's not doing anything.
Under 113.
Yeah, no, I have it up, but IBIT right now just pretty chill. We are going to ETHA. We are going to let it run a little bit here, AMD, to see if it can get back into that dollar plus win area there for us. Ethereum also doing absolutely nothing, but AMD key level. Wow, I can't ignore VWAP. So 161.15. Let's put an order out right there if it does come through, and then we'll just go from there. So that's kind of what we're looking at right now. SOFI was a monster runner obviously yesterday. Let's see what it's doing today. Back up to $30 again, and then a little bit of a fade. That was a good dip buy. We said $29.50 but didn't put our order out, so we'll have to maybe have a quick look at what's going on with SOFI. And Robinhood is another big name that a lot of traders are looking at as well, so we can check out Robinhood and see what they're doing. But I'm going to try to get some Cardi B tickets right here.
Ooh, Cardi B, why not? We'll power up that BBAI. It just lost $8 though, so we put the trail in. We talked about $8 being a psychological level. If it bounced off 6 last week and it bounced off 7, essentially all pre-market, then the $8 level as it pulls through, maybe we get the volume weighted average price for continuation. So we're out of BBAI, but as strong as it is, I think we want to continue to look for places to rejoin the trend, because at least this is trending up pretty cleanly. So just doing some house cleaning here. VWAP might be the only place that I'm looking at. It was a morning high 760, and then VWAP's at 755. So I'll look for this to get us back in to the volume weighted average price. Oddly enough, Tesla's holding up pretty well now. Like Tesla holding this 437 area at VWAP. That's where I got out of the long. If we lose it, then I'm waiting again for 434. Now, unfortunately, this has yet to really break out of this wedge. Lower highs and lower lows and higher lows. So that's a bit of a wedge pattern. You're either breaking up or down. If you break down of this pattern, then I wait for support. If you break up, then I think maybe looking at it above 438 is going to make a little bit of sense. So BBAI, we got to find something else to jump into. I see Patrick and a few people in the chat naming some names. I didn't realize Fubo and Space. Say it ain't so. Maybe it is just a small cap type of day. If you're telling me that Fubo and Space are going, yikes. Virgin Galactic is, it's a fun concept, but usually not one that you want to chase. Up 12% and there's not even a red candle. The first thing I think about this stock is, where is the place to catch the curl? I'm sorry. That's just how it is. And I pull it up in the daily and you look at this 200 period. This is more of a, unless there's a compelling story here that I'm aware of, wait for the chance to catch the back end, at least for a day trade on Virgin Galactic. This 200 period has been a brick wall for this stock for the last few months now, so I want to respect that. I don't think we have free. I'll probably have to pay for locates on this, but if it gets anywhere into this 380, 390, I'd be looking in the other direction. Adara?
Yeah, so just be aware, President Lula of Brazil just finished his speech If I see Trump coming, I'll let you know, but it is worth noting at this point, he could potentially be the next speaker. He was, again, scheduled to start at 9:50. Let's take a look here at this market. We did get negative 17 here for the Richmond Fed Composite Index, because as I said, it looks like the number just populated. I'm kind of starting to see it next now, but negative 17 for Richmond Fed Composite Index, well below the forecast of -5 and the previous print of -7. Before we send you back to the guys, I want to take a moment to thank our friends at Orogenic, OGEN. Each year, 3.8 million concussions are reported in the U.S., but there's still no FDA-approved treatment. NYSE-listed Orogenics, OGEN, is changing that with its first in-class intranasal drug designed for rapid brain access. With the concussion treatment market projected to reach $8.9 billion by 2027, Orogenics is uniquely positioned to lead the way. Learn more. Schedule a meeting today. Back to you.
I haven't even looked.
So thank you very much there, Dara. It does look like the bid is starting to come back in. I'm just going to go over to Tesla. Why isn't Tesla trying to go?
Trump just got introed. I just want to let you guys know Trump is, sounds like he's just been introduced.
Yeah, so look, if the president's on the podium, or at least talking, sometimes we like to think that's going to be good for the markets in terms of pumping it. But, you know, the Nasdaq's trying to put in its first green candle on a 15-minute basis, and it is holding the lows. Tesla, I guess, not doing as good a job above the volume-weighted average price. This was sort of the wedge that I was getting at. Like, there's your lower highs and higher lows. I think I want it to resolve itself in a long. I'm looking long as this thing is green, because that 434 is held. So a break out of this wedge here now would be fantastic. But if it doesn't happen, then I'm not going long this stock. Unfortunately, BBAI is still pulling back underneath $8. So one of these two things looks like it's going to be the next for me. But we're just going to have to be patient with it. Doesn't really seem like this market wants to fly higher. And I got to wait for that setup on Tesla.
All right, yeah, just quickly here, we are getting some more out, obviously, as we sit here and wait to see where the play is going to come from. But the AMD, right? I mean, Tesla's been a very, very difficult stock today, so we're going to try to stay a little bit away from TSLA right now. Coinbase apparently moving around as well. Hit the like and subscribe. Thank you so much for that. Right here, Coinbase 334. So nice little bump up right there for coin. And there goes Bitcoin a little bit as well. Maybe we have found near a bottom right there for crypto. So if we go over into IBIT, just because it's been bouncing around $13. So nice move. Yeah, I like this one. The 64.40 break might be decent. That's the 200 period moving average there on a 5-minute chart. I can't hate on that one. I'm just going to load it up here on eSignal, get a little bit of a better look right there. Yeah, 64 was such a good bottom there with that 50 period there. So any kind of a pullback, and then yeah, a break of 64.50. Looks like we might get a clean move back a little northbound there. So that is looking, of course, at IBIT. One of my buddies just told me that he's laughing at me because he waited for $8 and got it there on Big Bear AI. So I'm just going to be like, great trade. What the hell? He sold 1,000 shares. How much did this guy put into it? Okay, great trade right there on Big Bear AI. I thought he only had 1,000 shares, but okay, there it goes. So nice move there. I did want to check on Marvell as well. I think that was a name that had some nice spike opportunities, especially, you know, okay, so there goes Marvell as well. All good right now, 70 cents in the money here with our friend AMD, but that's still trying to go. And then NVIDIA, did we find a bottom at 180 or not? So this name, again, doesn't look like it wants to go. So let's be as careful as we can here with NVIDIA. Maybe that 179 was something. And then, again, what we went from a big trade with Big Bear AI to another one in Palantir. But Palantir right now hovering around its 200 period on the 1-minute chart. That's normally a great spot to get long here, but I don't know. The market to me doesn't feel long, so I'm not even in love with this AMD trade, man, and starting to get some more out here. We're at VWAP. Let me get another piece out, and if it's wrong, it's wrong. I'm fine living with getting out if I get a bad feeling. And right now, the market just, I don't know. It's not. I don't know what your opinion is, but it's so choppy right here.
It's choppy, and
I don't want to make like a big play. I'm not. Maybe Tesla can't
get going. NVIDIA can't get off the bottoms. Apple's trying to hold green and not doing a very good job of it, unfortunately. Amazon on this Prime headline. Well, it is a Prime headline overall. I love Amazon Prime, but let's just call it what it is. It's getting punished today, relatively speaking, because of It's controversy over their practices with Prime. I'm trying to frame this in a way. I've never experienced it. Like, I don't know about this being difficult to cancel because I've never tried to cancel Prime, so I can't really speak to it myself, but that's the contention here. It is trying to hold a good low here at 220 for
220?
Amazon. It's at 222 right now.
I like that
And the
price.
low of the day, 221. So the 220 is the last thing before you get the earnings low. I think the 200-period moving average is going to make a heck of a lot more sense if we do get there. Oh, say it ain't so, BBAI. I see people talking about Robinhood. We'll just get to Robinhood very quickly. Like a litany of stocks today, when we talk about it being just a weird morning, this is the exact same wedge that Tesla was just doing. Apple had a similar one where you broke the high, you hit the low, you're putting in lower highs and higher lows into a wedge pattern for a breakaway. So that's what I'm seeing across the board. These need to resolve themselves, or I don't think I don't know if I'll be in Tesla if it can't resolve itself up. BBAI doesn't want the volume weighted average price. Got to look for a different place to join or rejoin here if it's not going to be 760. We'll see if I can get this 780 level holding, but I'd much rather wait for a push down into VWAP. Adara, what do you have for us?
Yeah, what I have here for you guys are comments from Donald Trump. Once again, he's praising the stock market. He said inflation is down, prices are down. The only thing that's not down is the stock market. He also said the stock market has made 48 new all-time highs this year. I'm looking into that number. I know the S&P itself has certainly made a number of all-time highs, but I will be looking into that number regardless. Donald Trump praising the stock market here. Nice little push for the Nasdaq here, the QQQs. As Trump begins to speak, he also is again talking about all the investments that have been made in the U.S. since the start of his term. Back to you.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's always important to keep ear to the ground, and that's why I kind of have KenView here in case there is a question that he gets asked, something about that study, or I don't know, so something to look at right there. Shout out to 55 months. Already on my way to another 100% gain on the year. Thanks to you guys. How are you feeling about Webull? I'm feeling, I loaded up again at 13 last week. I like that bang. I remember when we first got that put in, it was probably one of the very first ones that we got. And I always remember watching the Adam West Batmans, and that's where it came from. The boom, pop, pow, all that kind of stuff. So we implemented the bang. But you, great call there. I mean, look, it's easy for us to talk about Webull, but you guys are the ones pushing the keys. So that is fantastic. And a great look there. You bought some at 13. I mean, to me, those are, those are exactly the levels that you want to look at, right? I mean, coming back in, and we can maybe zoom in a little bit because, again, it had its crazy IPO run, so that's not something that's super legit, but right into there right now, this is the kind of level when you're coming into 12.50, 13. I love buying. Like, I bought NVIDIA yesterday, 175.40 ahead of 175. You always can't buy the exact bottoms of stock, so that's a good little level there, 13 against a pre-developed level, right? And so that's always something to look at. And there's also something to look at here with BTCC because they've been operating now for 14 years with zero hacks, which means zero excuses not to be over there. BTC.com delivers when others don't. Trade Bitcoin 500 times levered, even Tesla Gold. Gold's been going ham, and Forex. You can also implement smart copy trading. This is regulated in the United States, Canada, and over in Europe. And this is trusted by over 6.8 million traders worldwide. We do have an exclusive event for you here at Trader TV Live with BTCC.com. Make sure you click that QR code right there or click on the description scan the QR code, click on the description, and grab your 15% deposit bonus. I mean, I don't know, you can't go wrong with that one there. 15% is real nice, kind of like investing in BBAI, get your 15%. All right, so the only trade that I have, AMD, again, falls off. We got another VWAP trade there at 16s, then it rips up to 30s, and now it's having one more problem. I'm going to get out of, again, a little bit more if it comes back into the 30s because this is the kind of trading that I'm trying to do. Rinsing and repeating. We looked at SOFI, we looked at Robinhood, not yet. And right now, Robinhood is kind of hovering around the middle, kind of similar to the market that can't figure itself out. That's the ES at zeros, but the Nasdaq is downside and looking right now to break through. Right, if we could break through this 50-period moving average, that's not bad. But right now, this looks like, to me, Neil, a short. So I'm thinking about getting into the Nasdaq short right here. I haven't said that in a minute, so that's going to be something to look out on. I have to watch BBAI because
it just broke the high again.
My next offer is 850. And again, I've lowered the offers for 10%. Like, we're long at $4. This is a double up right here. So I'm really happy with what Big Bear AI has been doing, man. And let's just wait to see what winds up happening. But again, good trading there. I know Neil's had BBAI on his mind today. And there it comes right back to VWAP. So I don't know where my offer is. I'm going to put one out right now. So there's a nice out there on AMD. Let's see if the market wants to continue to climb. Whatever stock I was talking about a couple seconds ago before AMD was one that I want to get long on. I like that chart. I'm going to figure out what it was. It wasn't Webull.
Well, I can tell you, I don't know if it was Webull. It probably wasn't Webull because I don't think that's doing much today. But CoreWeave just broke this wedge to the upside. Tesla didn't. I said, like, you know, you had a couple of things making these lower highs and higher lows. Well, Tesla broke lower. So if I was looking to break something out long on that wedge break, it certainly couldn't be Tesla's. Now that's back at the low of the day and not looking like it wants to participate in any kind of a rally that we're having. So VWAP, but also a bit of a red to green story here for CoreWeave. I mean, it was green to red and then back into green. If it holds on to 133.25, that's essentially the bottom of the wedge and also holding green. Then we're looking for a continuation into the high. It's been a decent running stock, but I think you'd do well to have NVIDIA go with it. And NVIDIA is starting to curl as well. I have NVIDIA up. That's looking like it's made a little bit of a temporary bottom, but it can't get through VWAP. That happens, I think we can get back into the highs, and CoreWeave has a good shot to get back into the high as well. So I'm going to get my stop. Remember, trade with stop orders, everybody.
Yeah, you got to do.
We already saw that this morning, right? Like, we had a bit of a power issue, but our stops recovered, came back on, and whether you like stops or not, they're going to enable you to stay alive, right? And have that protection, not just because you might lose a connection or something like that, but just to protect yourself. Like, where is your out going to be on any given trade? If you're long Amazon today, like, who knows? Like, maybe someone was swinging Amazon, and if you didn't have a stop order at the open, maybe you got rinsed. But Amazon finally catching a bit of a bid. This one got bled more than I would suspect on this headline. There's always the regulators going after the big cap tech companies, and I tend to think that's usually a good buying opportunity because they usually get slaps on the wrist and then things go back to normal. So I think you're having a bit of a semi-panic moment. Not that 2% is all that bad, but yeah, I don't know if we get to 220 anymore. It's now a series of green candles on this. So Amazon 220 might have to wait for a minute. Let's go to Adara.
Let's talk about small caps. Even as the market got off to a bit of a weaker start, if you saw the Nasdaq and the S&P 500, you really don't see that reflected at all on the IWM. The Russell 2000 doing really nicely here. A little bit of a top, I guess, at that 247 level, but either way, nice progression to the upside for the Russell to start the day. I must remind everyone this is a bit more rate sensitive, as small caps are, and at 12:35 p.m. we will get Powell speaking, Fed Chair Powell. We also had some comments coming in from Fed's Bowman today that we're suggesting we'd get, or at least she is seeing, at least 2 more rate cuts this year. She's factoring in 3 for the total of the year, and of course, we already just got a rate cut. Let's take a look at BETR, better home and finance on watch. Maybe you've heard of Eric Jackson. He was the individual that was really behind the open door rally. He's now decided to back BETR as well. Then we have SOUN. This one is a bit of a larger market cap. It's in the billions, but certainly worth noting here, about $19. This is still near day's highs. Partnering up with Red Lobster so that SoundTown AI, SOUN, can power Red Lobster's phone ordering across its locations. And last but not least, SLE. This one giving up some of its move. It is still up quite considerably from yesterday's close, but I guess a digital asset treasury investor by the name of Evo Fund is going to be investing in Super League SLE. This catalyst you can read more about on our morning watch list of the Trader TV Live watch list. And before we send you back to the guys, make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, and check out our friends at Trade the Pool, because did you know that instead of risking your own money, you can trade with someone else's capital? No more fear of losing, no more moving your stop loss too soon, and you can actually get enough capital to make it worth your time, so you can aim for big profits, not just a couple $100 a month. This is the revolution called limited risk trading, and it's powered by Trade the Pool. Here's how it works. Join Trade the Pool, hit the profit goal, keep 70% of the profits. Visit tradethepool.com. That's tradethepool.com, or scan the QR code for 10% off. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Adara. We have a new position alert right here, so We'll hit the sirens. We're short the market. I don't know. All right, let's just see right now. We hit the sirens right there. We're getting out of, obviously we don't want to be short the market, and well, there's TQQs right there. So short and out a little bit there. Let's see if it continues to fly that way. I don't know why my chart's not loading up AMD, but a bunch of outs up there. As we said, we extended through VWAP. That was a good gift for us. So we're getting more and more out of AMD because I don't want to be in this name plus short the market. So let's take some more out right there. Now watch to see what winds up happening. The market's going to come out. If we break VWAP 104.50, I mean, I'm going to give it up to this 104.60 area. The market's not, like, it's not moving an incredible amount here or anything like that. So I'm not like in full-blown panic mode here or anything with these futures moving against me if they do. So right now we have about half of a unit or so. What we do now, we almost had about one there and a little bit of cover there at 104, looking for the bottom right now. So if that can come in, then great. But so far so good here as we continue to watch out for this market. But it is a new position alert right there, and I'm getting lighter and lighter on AMD. And in fact, if we break right below here, 160.60, I'm going to get out of AMD. So 160.59. Trump saying Iran can never possess nuclear weapons. Okay, well, we'll see. Hopefully that is not. Well, hopefully that's true, but that doesn't spark anything. All right, a little bit of an out there. Let's just wait to see what winds up happening. I'm going to bid 103.90 here. Tesla is a lot of stressla because there it goes, man. We had a monster move yesterday to the upside, and it touched 450 yesterday, I believe, or was it a little bit higher than that? No, sorry. Hold on, when this chart loads, 445 yesterday, so down a little bit. Don't forget that 430 key area right there for Tesla. So if that comes in, we're going to monitor that as an area there for TSLA. But for right now, man, we are right here. We're waiting to see the bottom area for TQQs. So there goes Tesla, and here is the Nasdaq. So we're going short right now on the TQQs, which is the futures. It's a triple levered. So if you want to go short with me on the Nasdaq, you could do that with Qs. You could do it with the Nasdaq contract. You know, the weapon of choice for myself is the TQQs. It's triple levered, and bang, there it is right there. That's why we hit sirens, letting you guys know it's a brand new position. Neil's got CoreWeave and Intel. I like those two plays.
Yeah, CoreWeave just came out.
Okay.
There's no story.
Well, there's no story?
As long as there was no story on Intel, which I did not. Oh, yeah, I was coughing. That's what it was. No, as long as there isn't a story on Intel specific to it, which, you know, there isn't anything really. There are recent investments by the U.S. government, but that's nothing new that anyone doesn't know. But the $30 level is the big one. Yesterday's highs and a triple top today right at the $30 level. So when I see sellers like this pull back into VWAP for a trend break is the only play that I can see. And I think VWAP makes sense. If it's going to hold trend to the upside and be relatively strong, then that's always the drill for me. If you're going against the grain, cover into the volume weighted average price, and that way if it holds the trend, you're out and you can move on to the next. Chart Hustle, thank you for the super chat, Chart Hustle. Appreciate it. That can't be true. Your favorite ticker, Beanie, aka MULN, pulled yet another reverse. One for 250. How? You know what? I believe you. I just I kind of can't believe it, but I believe you. That's
I believe it, but I don't believe the market lets this happen.
To be honest, I make a joke about this a lot, but this is actually just stupid now. Like, how many times are you going to get a? Yeah, they did. There it is. It was yesterday. So yeah, yet another. Like, they changed the name of the company and then did the same thing they've been doing before, which is reverse split and plunge, and now they've done another reverse split. If I had known this morning, and again, that's on me, I probably should have, I'm sure I would have paid for shorts, because you short the pops in a situation like this. That's ridiculous. Yes. They've done more, they just keep on doing it over and over and over again. And I guess you're allowed to do this infinitely. Maybe there are no rules.
There are.
Well, I know there are.
I know. I don't know what they are.
They're just not enforced when it comes to that company, apparently.
Yep.
You can reverse split as many times as you want, or you can trick it. Who actually buys this thing? That's what I want. That's the more important question. It's not how are they allowed to do it. It's who actually buys MULN, or formerly MULN, when this happens.
Hopefully it's not our viewers. Hopefully
none of you guys are. I know you guys aren't buying.
Well, I mean, look. We don't want to say, like, time frame is everything, right? So, I mean, if you can catch a bid on it,
yeah,
and you're long, and then, yeah, man, ring the register every single time that happens. That's, I think, the best advice that we can give is like whenever you catch a name that's been reverse split. A good example of a reverse split that actually seemed to have worked was Lucid. Right here. So they came out, and if I call it up on our chart, doesn't do it justice. Right there, they reverse split at $20. Well, $2 to 20, so they went 10 to 1 there or something, and there it goes, straight upside. So there's the split right here. So right here at 20 was the split date, fell down into 16, and now taking out some of those levels, LCID. So Lucid right there, and I'm not even sure why Lucid split. So that's an interesting story in and of itself right there. Okay, so AMD right now is on one. So we still have some shares. We did get lighter in it. We talked about that as we thought the market was fading a little bit there. But then I was like, I just recall myself saying, well, the market's not really doing anything. So let's take out some more AMD as it continues to pop there. This is going to be obviously my biggest stock here as we wait to see what winds up happening with the TQs. This is actually, I should be getting more short. What am I waiting at? I'm waiting at 32s. So we'll take a 28 right now. We're still waiting. That's exactly VWAP is 32 right now. So we'll get ahead of it just a bit and take some more shares right now. Actually, I'm just going to take kind of what I wanted to at 32 right here at 27. So we'll take that. It is VWAP. We're giving it all the way up to here. So now we have a great average price. Like to lose 40 cents if we're wrong, and this wants to take out the 200 period moving average, fine by moi right now. But that's what we're dealing with right here. And a good out on AMD again as it reaches highs and then fades right back in one more time. The door might have been closed on open door because now you're down into 750 again. So down, failing pretty good and flushing this one down the toilet. Down now 12% on open door. I do want to, before I go over here, this reset, so I gotta have a quick look to see what's going on over here. How many of you are watching us right now? 1K, hit the like button, get that going. Maybe we can get 1.5K, over 9,000 of you still watching. We wanna thank you for that one as we talk all about them stocks right now. So, if you are a trader, you found your home, and there it comes right now. Nice move back in for the TQs. We just bounced a little bit off 10 there. Let me put a bid at 50, we'll put a bet at 10s right now to see if we can get that for our out right now. But here we go, man. China-U.S. relations showing signs of stabilization. Okay, that's not great for my short, but we are short anyways right there on the TQ. So let's bounce around here. That's 14s or 15s. Hopefully we can wind up getting that as a trade. But I like the stock here, and we're short the Nasdaq. Adara's got some kind of news right now. So what's up, A?
There's a lot happening here with regards to Donald Trump's speech. He came off the gate pretty aggressive here. He is not a fan of the United Nations as a body. He's made that pretty clear. Now he's saying that China and India are providing financial support to Russia's war effort. And he's also saying here that the U.S. is ready to implement, quote, a heavy set of tariffs if Russia isn't ready to make a deal. So that's happening right now. I also want to mention Fed's Bostic speaking as well, saying that he thinks there's more inflation to come. So some more geopolitical tensions coming from U.S. President Donald Trump and worries about inflation coming from Fed's Bostic. Lots of excitement today, guys. Back to you.
All right.
Worries about inflation, huh? Well, we'll get another print this week, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And we'll see. I mean, we'll see if there's still, because Powell already said, well, we heard Powell say that some of the focus was to that labor market.
Right.
But we don't need a really hot print. I think at these highs, in this context, you've already had enough people come out. Jamie Dimon was one of them saying it's going to be hard for the Fed to cut any further. So you don't need another hot inflation print. I think that would bode pretty poorly. I mean, your biggest concern is probably going to be the Russell in that particular case. I haven't checked to see how that's doing.
I mean, it was all-time highs. I mean,
that's the thing. Like everything, all-time highs. Ooh, you can trade the Russell on Blue Ocean as well. Ooh. Blue Ocean, literally everything.
I think so. I mean, all the major ones.
It's
right?
wild, but the Russell actually holding up not too bad today. Relative strength today in the Russell, but that would be my concern. Like we get a hot inflation print, that could be a little bit of a problem. Intel is bouncing in front of the volume weighted average price, but it never really got there. So the curl in front of 30 gets you down to 29.75 and doesn't get all the way to the volume weighted average price. Yeah, it's a little strong. I think if it makes, forget about a high, if this even breaks the lower high, it's worth jumping out here and just taking what you can get. If we get one more curl off 30, I'll take it again. But if 30 breaks, I'm just going to jump out of this one. Didn't quite get all the way to get the last leg out in front of the volume weighted average price. Let's go back to Adara, another update.
Yeah, just be aware, guys. In addition to comments from Fed's Bostic and President Donald Trump, we also have comments from China's Foreign Minister Wang Yi saying that China's and U.S. relationships are showing signs of stabilization. I believe Sean mentioned that as well, but just be aware here. Wang Yi, Foreign Minister of China, is speaking in addition to all of the many other speakers we have today. Back to you.
All right, so this is going to be very, very interesting as we hear. Like, it's very, in my opinion here, we are taking a bit of risk trading the futures when President Trump is on, because obviously at any given day or any given moment here, he could snap on anybody. So we're going to wait and see what that response is. I'm going to bid right here at some 13s again, just to get some more out at the 200 period. At the 50 period moving average on a 1 minute chart. So we're just going to bid some more out. It's just a small little top out right here, like literally 5% out. We're only out of 10% so far of this move, so we'll wait for it. We did average in there, and then our bigger trade was up here. I took 2 fills up here because I was like, do we really even want to wait? So we took one there, and then we didn't wait for VWAP. We took another one early. So 1 fill at the top there. Try to get a little bit out. Remember, this is a triple levered, so if the Nasdaq does dip down here, and this is the triple Qs.
This is epic.
So this is, yeah, just 1 second here, and then we'll go over to that super chat. It's just right here. This is the TQ, so this is the Nasdaq. Like, if you lose 600 right now, which is still a minute away, but you know, then you do fall, and it could be a decent move for the Nasdaq if it does come back in. So, you know, comfortable holding on to it for sure, and giving this a little bit of room. So I want to go for a much bigger trade there. You've got a super chat there you mentioned.
This is a great one. Thank you so much for sharing this, Chris Landrum in the chat. Sitting on the runway, taking my wife on an anniversary trip. You have no charts in front of you, but follow the boys into a trade that paid for the plane tickets before we got into the Uber. Thank you for sharing that. That's awesome. First of all, congratulations, and congratulations to you and your wife on your anniversary. That's fantastic. Yeah, if you don't mind sharing where you're going, I hope you guys enjoy your trip. Have a safe and awesome flight. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. That's nothing but love. Oh, we got another one here. AJ Locke. Maybe a dumb question. There's no such thing as a dumb question. Everybody in our community is just here trying to see what's going on in the markets, learn, get better, make money. That's all it is. Why short the TQQ instead of buying the SQQ? Simple. I can answer this one for Sean. We talk about this all the time. It's just easier for a lot of traders if you have the ability to trade either one and don't have to worry about leverage or the size of your buying power account. At a prop desk here, we're able to have larger BP than maybe a retail account. So you just want to be long something and bet on it going up, and as opposed to the opposite, which, you know, it's not a huge deal. Obviously, we can make that distinction ourselves, just buying something which is a short, and you know, if it goes up, then the instrument's going down. It's just easier a lot of times. Hey, I want to follow an uptrending chart, and I'm trading multiple things. It's more simple to just go TQQ short than the other way around. It's just how we do things. Most traders that I'm aware of, at least. Let's go to Adara.
Yeah, I just want to mention here, for one, AI is being mentioned by Trump. Trump saying that the U.S. should be using AI to fight biological weapons or to combat biological weapons. So keep an eye, I guess, on some of these AI names. Also, Fed's Bostic saying that it's possible the neutral rate is rising. So Fed's Bostic continuing to be fairly hawkish here on the mic. United Health Group, I want to mention as well. There's no news on this that I could find on UNH today or yesterday, but this is the 15-minute chart. Steady stream to the upside for United Health. Back to you.
News. We don't need news where we're going, which is apparently to the upside. I'll take it UNH. That swing's going pretty well. I just had a quick look at Open Door, and I know we had Mitch talk about this one, and even Sean was just mentioning that maybe the door has been closed on these bad boys. Unfortunately, this trend is holding pretty decently. Like, it's now tapped VWAP 2 or 3 times. When I see a trend like this, as far as the trade goes, a lot of times I just want to join the trend if possible. Just double check and make sure we have some locates. If it gets to VWAP, this one will be on my radar, but you have to keep in mind, this is now down over 10%, and when a stock gets over 10% to the downside, then you get the uptick rule in effect. So it's SSR. It means you cannot hit the bid to engage a short position unless the last print in the tape was green. So that's usually a pretty decent. It gives it a little bit more juice to some bounce plays, is the best way to think about it. But it doesn't mean you automatically go long. I'm not looking SSR bounce on Open Door today, but that VWAP looks pretty good. Speaking of the volume weighted average price, Intel goes 30 to 29.75 and not to VWAP. inclined to believe at this point, right, why bid at VWAP? If it held 29.75 last time, either it holds here or we get a breakdown in 29.60. So I'll just eyeball it. If the bid starts coming in, then we get out. Otherwise, we hold it to prior support. And like I said to AJ in the chat, there's no such thing as a dumb question. Like if you have a question, answer the question. Everyone's just trying to learn at the end of the day. So don't worry about, oh, it seems like it's foolish, or we've answered it a million times. And believe me, I would seriously rather, I tell my daughter all the time, if you don't understand something, I don't mind saying it or answering that question over and over and over again until you do, as opposed to you having to go out and make that mistake. You got to have that, that sort of mentality, because you're not going to get better if you're afraid to ask a question in a general sense. So Intel caught that bid again. I'm just going to jump out of here. If it breaks down under VWAP, I'll get in again. Intel up for reasons unknown, at least in my opinion, outside of the government's invested in them, but that's an old story. And $30 brick wall, if it breaks tops, I probably don't join along today, but if we break under VWAP, I will join a short. Look at the pattern yesterday. Failed 30, failed VWAP at that same price. Well, that could be serious continuation if that gets under the volume weighted average price.
All right. So just for everybody that's trading over here, I mean, we have AMD right now. We just took it out for $1.20. It kept on going, so we were wrong by getting out of some of that. But, that's why I was saying same thing similar with your BBAI kind of trade, right? You can have 100% winners, but if you don't take it out, then it doesn't matter. So you got to be positive on both ends of the spectrum here and make sure that you are able to take something out right there. Uber's hitting, I'm still in the futures. They're not doing anything. We're 5 cents in the money. I don't know. I mean, nothing's going on there. Uber right now, $99. I mean, what a move down, to be honest with you. I didn't even realize, like I said, that Uber being over 100 was like news to me there out of yesterday. And now today, it's not over 100 now. So as that's faded right back into $99 and looking to take out VWAP. So that's definitely something to look at here. Oh, that's what happened. My thing went off here, my speaker. So people asking about what the Fed is saying. Look, this is why we've literally have Adara here right now. So if anything hits Fed related, we'll get that to you immediately. What's up, Adara?
I was just going to say there's nothing of what Trump is saying right now is really market related at all. Not a fan of the UN. Is what he's expressing. And then also, again, Fed's Bostic has said a couple comments. I've said everything relevant.
Okay, so there you go. So, not much happening Fed-wise right here. So we're going to just ease off. I mean, wait to see if Trump does anything outlandish or anything and creates this market to rip or tank. But we're still waiting for this top of 104.60. If that comes in, fine. So we're going to wait to see what winds up happening here for the Nasdaq and all of these movers. IBIT, we are going to go over this again quickly. You're going to go over this with, obviously, Joe and Sharif. Love talking crypto as well. And right now, IBIT making a little bit of a move back in again, breaking through 113. Okay, it's Adara with an update.
This market is really mixed. We're seeing tech lag a little bit here. Electronic technology, you have a lot of strength in Broadcom. Boeing, we know, has had some jet deals. Intel to the upside on continued strength with NVIDIA, but NVIDIA itself is down 2%. Again, we did have that big announcement yesterday that pushed NVIDIA to the upside. They're going to be investing very heavily in OpenAI, but unfortunately, that investment does come with some concerns about potential antitrust issues. Then we've got tech services, Palantir and AppLovin to the upside, but that's pretty much it. Oracle down 5%, and a lot of these other names relatively flat. Finance to the upside looking really strong. Energy minerals, great look here. I couldn't find any catalyst on this space, but certainly one to watch. Health services doing well. UNH leading this group to the upside again. I didn't see any catalyst on this one either. Transportation strong. Industrial services looking pretty strong. Retail trade weak across the board. And again, one of the names in the sector is reporting earnings on Thursday after the bell. That's Costco. For the record, it's also worth noting CVS is strong today. Everything else in the sector struggling a bit here, guys. Back to you.
Pretty good day for energy, actually.
Yes.
Just looking over at that board. And not so great for Oracle, but then Oracle, Sean was just reminding me, it had that TikTok move. And it's essentially just giving back the move from yesterday. This, Oracle, ever since that massive is the right word, that massive guide that they've had, it hasn't really been able to hold on to gains too well, except for in and around that at 300 level. So that's where you always talk about like that 3-day rule. This is exactly what is meant by it. Let it settle down after the big earnings, and when it catches the bid, that's the bid. Because it's now bounced clean, and you got a 10% range in there. So really, it's Oracle, dips under 300, you buy it. If it breaks 290, you're out because you have a gap fill, and you got like a 10% move. It's giving it to you once. Maybe we get another shot at it this week. Certainly looks like that could be a possibility. BBAI, this is the top of the list. Well, top of the list at least for you guys. It's still destroying everything on the visualizer. Open door. It's, you know what? I'll give it up to the open army here, because even on a day where it's getting smoked, like smoked is the wrong word. Even a day where it's struggling a little bit, you're seeing it hold up. UNH having a strong move in there in second place. Just first, I'll get to UNH because we haven't really discussed that much today. But just let me talk OpenAI or BBAI for a second. It's holding on to $8. So VWAP does not seem like a thing, but the even dollars are. So I'll take a shot in front of the $8 level with this 976 area kind of as an out, and look to rejoin this trend, which is one of the strongest ones here that you can find. And BBAI has been pretty much upward trending the entirety. There was one dip you could have had, and then the rest of it, has been a pretty solid upside move. I love what's happening in UNH. Oh, yeah. Got back into this one at 3, but 350 has been a problem. So the last time we got into 350, let me zoom it out for you guys. The last time we got into 350, there was a little break and then trend back. What I love, held onto prior high as support. Like this top, when UNH fell apart, the sellers came back in just underneath 330. And when this dipped last couple of weeks, the buyers came in at that same price. So this is a pretty big test. I would have loved to see 350 hold. To me, if I hadn't already taken some out in front of this 360 area, I would be doing so right here, right now, because you're back underneath that 350. But as long as we can hold this trend, I think the next move is $400 here for UNH. So I do like what I'm seeing, but I've already taken some out here. The swing was 300 to get some out in front of this area, and then to get some out in front of the 200 period moving average. So as long as that holds true, great. I can't turn into a loser at least now, because our stop is under the 50 period moving average, so that should be good. But UNH 2%. Trying to follow through, but look at that little hammer candle at 350. If you had, like I said, if I hadn't taken profit already, I would be doing so right now.
Nice. Good trade there on UNH, obviously. Joseph, am I right? Bad man she like. Yeah, bad man she like. Okay, right there. But here goes TQQs to the downside. We like this one as well. So there's the reload. Right there to the downside here. So good move there. I always thought it was Badman chill out, but it's Badman she love. Oh, Badman she love, not like. Right there. So shout out to whoever the hell sings that song. All right, so AMD, again, upside there. We're just talking about the same trades here, but I'm looking at the TQs. I really do enjoy this trade here on the futures. I think it's setting up quite nicely. We could have, I already looked at it, we could have a big move. We've been taking out profits because, again, we've got them, so it's always nice to be able to do that. Now, whether or not it continues to move higher or lower from here, just getting some out at the 50 period. I still think that the bottom could come through here for this play on our TQQs. So waiting for that to sort of throw up all over itself. And I don't know if that's going to happen. Meaning maybe there's a capitulated sort of a move back in. We are right now bidding 104.03, then we're bidding 103.90s as well. So some different opportunities here for us coming out right there. You guys, I've been pounding the table on BBAI for a minute, right? SOUN is a name that there's a lot of you traders like that trade as well. So shout out to everybody hitting SOUN. And this is the thing, when you're trading, okay, let's go futures. When you're trading, that's right. Bad man, she love. Bad man. Who sings it? Okay, it's some sort of a mix. Right there, Sharif plays the good tunes there and behind us. All right, so SOUN again, you can invest, as an investment, UNH, stuff like that. When they move 10%, sometimes that could be a whole year for some of these plays. But when you're looking at AI names or names that could be pretty hot fire, a SOUN up 10% and still going. So congratulations to everybody right there. And congratulations to the money crew. Who's part of that crew today? Because there goes the TQs again to the downside. So we slip up early, right? We had NVIDIA long early. We got out of it. We had Tesla long early. This was Tesla's okay. Bids, boom. That was, I mean, actually Tesla was actually fine. NVIDIA, we couldn't really get out of it. AMD's been perfect so far there today, but we will go now. PL number one will be these futures trades. So there it comes into the downside. So it is all good, man. Yes, Tranquil Trader. I am not the new version of Snow. Snow is a Canadian legend right there. I am just a very simple man. So I do appreciate the reference there. I wonder what that because I am your informer.
I would love to know what that dude's up to. Snow?
I don't know. I saw he's doing things.
Yeah, well, I know a few years ago I saw him re-emerge himself, but yeah, he was pretty legit. I have to admit, like he was huge. And when you're doing collabs with like Nadine Sutherland and Terra Fabulous, like the guy.
I never heard of any of those people.
You never heard of Terra Fabulous?
Not as much as Snow.
Wow. Okay. I don't know how I feel about that.
You're welcome, Marrakech, and everybody else, man. Congratulations to everybody.
So I'm seeing a lot of people mention this name. I don't know how HAL hasn't shown up on our visualizer, because I've seen a few people mention Halliburton here today, and yet somehow it doesn't show up on the visualizer. Up 8 points. Not usually seeing this name go. This is a clean breakout in every sense of the word here on Halliburton. So shout out to everyone that seems to have caught this. And this is not some small, obviously you guys know Halliburton's not a small cap company or anything like that. Intel finally broke 30, so the 4th time we take it, maybe not gonna be good. But Halliburton, just let me finish the thought here. This looks like a potential swing opportunity in Halliburton. Hold to 50, you know I like this setup. Hold to 50, break the 200, break the downtrend, and then see how far you can go. That's what I see happening on Halliburton. I get it, not everyone likes to invest in that company or take shots in that company. To each their own, that's absolutely fair. But I like that setup. That looks pretty good. So the 3rd time, not a charm there on that 30. Intel's now breaking that 30 level. We shorted it twice into it. It holds VWAP or adjacent to VWAP, but the 3rd time it's now trying to break through. And Low Family just said that Snow is, I saw it a second ago. Here it is. In Florida and flips luxury homes.
No.
That's not.
I think that's Vanilla Ice.
Right?
No, it's Snow.
That's Vanilla Ice.
That's Rob Van Winkle.
Ice
name,
Baby.
Right? Rob Van Winkle?
Yeah, I have that T-shirt where
Rob
Vanilla
Van
Ice
Winkle.
invented rap. Maybe I'll wear that tomorrow. We'll go Oasis last week. I'll wear my Vanilla Ice shirt for everybody tomorrow. So, yeah, good times being had here. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. We're only 10 minutes away, but let's just do it early. Let's figure out what's for lunch. All right, here we go. So yesterday's lunch was chicken. It wasn't bad. It was that Italian chicken, so just lightly seasoned with Italian seasoning, so basil, whatever, thyme, things like that there yesterday. Today is Tuesday, September the 23rd. We did have pretty good omelets. We had veggie and cheese omelets this morning. I thought that was pretty decent, man. Like it wasn't overly, it wasn't oily or anything like that. I think that was really good there. We always get every day, of course, we get fresh fruit bowls and whatnot. So that's awesome. That's always a big hit around these joints as well. But okay, today you will probably like this one, Mr. Roberts. Today we get chicken and beef fajitas. I think that's pretty good there with some Mexican rice, toppings including tomatoes, sour cream, green onion, shredded cheese, and then of course Neil and I will be having our chef's choice salad, but there it is right there. I think that's a win today.
That's a big win.
We're looking for tacos and I feel like that's a good one there, Neil, so we'll be happy for that. Today's meal here at Trader TV Live, and for everybody, including our staff, obviously, everybody here, chicken and beef fajita with Mexican rice and assorted toppings. I hope there's a little bit of guacamole there. We'll see if that is true or not. And stay tuned for an update on all of that. But that is, of course, what is for lunch. All right, so yeah, just moving on with everything here. Yeah, you know, AMD now almost $2, you know, and actually, you know what? AMD, no, I hit it. $2 right there. So we're going to take out AMD right now for $1.75. right there. It was a bad decision, obviously, to get out some right there. But as it continues to climb higher, isn't it funny that we're having a big winner here in our trade with the futures as well as AMD? Like, I went short the Nasdaq, but long AMD. I didn't think both of them could work. How we were wrong on that one, as it looks like they are both printing nicely right here upside. So yeah, the TQs continue to work out for us. And it looks like we're trying to make another move right now back in. So we put some bids here at 104.04 and see if we can get that one. Thank you so much to Walter Ford for your talk on JOBY right there, wanting us to look at that. I think we, I know Sharif was talking about JOBY a little bit.
Yep.
There's. Yeah, he's calling it a piece of...
Why are you calling it a piece of crap?
It's good right now. So there it goes, man. Yeah, JOBY's had a nice move down, which I think is what Sharif was referring to. But right now, JOBY with a nice move higher there, up now 6%. So a great look, taking out the 50-period moving average. JOBY gets flying when we take out this 19. So I think that would be a level to look for there if you are in JOBY. And if you're not, then maybe you should get a JOB, because jobs are very, very hard to come by, especially in this country, as we have, I don't know if it's not record unemployment or anything like that, but
it's over 7%.
It's getting up there. Getting up there.
7%. So remember that when everyone complains down south of us about the unemployment rate, just remember up here in Canada, it is 7%, and youth unemployment is through the roof.
But at least you get to live in Canada.
Well, it's true. Let's go to Adara.
Hi guys, let's talk about the US dollar here. This is the daily chart for the US dollar. We are, I guess, finding a little bit of resistance around that. Whereas this 97.8 area, again, that we have bounced relatively well from weakness going back to Friday. Now, lots of talk coming through today from Fed speakers. We'll also get Fed Chair Powell coming through at 12:35 p.m. Certainly something to watch. I do want to mention as well, though, some of the speak we already had. And as always, we'll look at this lovely little FOMC infographic. You can check out at X at TTV Research to get a literal picture of who's been speaking today. Fed's Bowman, she commented earlier, she said she's seeing 3 rate cuts total in 2025. That does imply, much as we're seeing priced in the Fed rate tool or the CME Fed Watch tool, we're likely to get 125 basis point cut in the October meeting, and then in the December meeting, we'll get another 25 basis point cut. Now, she didn't specify the size of the cuts, but she did say that she's seeing 2 more this year. Then we also had Fed's boss, as you can see here, he was speaking as well. He continues to be a little bit more cautious. He said that he does have reason to believe inflation will continue. So he's not sure that the inflation story is necessarily done. Last but not least, Fed's Powell looming right in the center of this infographic. He will be speaking at 12:35. So in just over 2 hours from now, I'll cover that for you guys. But certainly something to keep an eye on and be aware of. Donald Trump, it sounds like he just finished his speech here at the UN. Back to you.
Oh, at 12:30.
Yeah, Powell in a couple of hours. Well, no, almost 2.5 hours.
I feel like I don't want to be short when he's speaking. I feel like he's going to have.
Yeah,
he always is pretty positive.
You never really know. Just want to shout out all-time highs here on Rigetti. 9%.
Yeah. This stock was still long $6.
Yeah, this stock is absolutely ridiculous. Quantum names quantum names have been flying around here, but this one does not have a red day in a minute. I think you're going all the way back to like September 10th. There's now almost 2 full weeks without a red day for Rigetti. That's just absolutely beasting. Control Alt Escape. Is this super chat? Oh, look at that. Control Alt Escape. Down money today. Buy Rigetti will break out here and save me. Oh, so you're buying Rigetti on the breakout. The high that it already broke.
He's telling you to do it, I think.
No.
Oh, he's saying he's buying?
He's buying.
Okay.
30 means it's a high the day break. I don't like topping tail candles like that for breakouts. And not at this time of the day. I never like breakouts at this time when it's such a massive topping tail. Like if it had gone into that level a little bit differently, maybe. But you're looking for that it's all-time highs in here. It really depends on your time frame. Like if you're like scalping and out in like minutes, then to me, no. But if this is like a break because you're taking it, you're going to hold it for days and weeks. Obviously, that's a bit of a different story when it comes to a name like Rigetti. But the breakout really looked like it was at the 30 level in here, off the consolidation, and then the dip into the prior high. Like that's dip into the prior high. I prefer so much to a breakout play in a situation like this. But I'm looking for this trend to break on Intel currently. So right now it's holding that 30 again. So I think trading it off the high instead of the 30 level makes sense. But the other thing that's happening is since VWAP, it's got a little bit of a trend now forming into that 30 level. So you've got the same, it's like a wedge pattern. You got the same high into these higher lows. You break down here, then I'm short this again, because I think if it loses VWAP, this could really, this could pull right back into 29 even. So either I get it back at 30 or we close under the trend line and look for this to flush here on Intel. Oh, I see. Yeah, you made a typo there. You meant, but Rigetti will save you. So you're in at 29.60 and 30, so 29.80. I think that's right. Like long into the 30 level made so much more sense than taking that high of the daybreak.
All right, more outs coming here for the TQs if it does get to the downside. Yeah, good luck with all of those trades, man. I mean, I hope that everybody can print no matter what they're looking at, in their portfolios today, because hasn't been the easiest of days. I feel like, especially with this market being just so damn choppy right here. Let's check out Tesla real quick. So yeah, Tesla again not doing too much here for Tesla. Big Bear AI continues to be the belle of the ball, so we're really super happy with that one, and congratulations to everybody that has that in their long-term or swing accounts. We've been talking about that for minutes, so that's a good one. Apple trying to move around again on maybe like a day two or whatever play here for Apple, because yesterday we broke through 250, holding out pretty good considering right here today, as there's been some names that have been downside, right, including a bigger one like Oracle that's had to move down today, down 5%. Really like that name, but it's just, again, you're caught in the TikTok headwinds or tailwinds right now. I don't know which way that wind is blowing. I mean, as Trump needs to get all that figured out there for TikTok, is there a deal, isn't there? But Oracle's the name that always gets mentioned, so I believe that there is some love there for Oracle in that deal. Right now, DraftKings not doing a whole heck of a lot. Just trying to get this organized. We only have 1 minute left. Hopefully it's not raining. We'll make our way over to the pool, get a little bit of a workout in on the midday. There you go. Yeah, same way as kind of Mason right there. That's what I've been saying. Like, the BBAI army over here, we're long, between $4 and $5, somewhere in that range. So if you get an $8 move, I think, or up to $8, I think that's worth taking some profit, because, I don't want to use Opendoor as an example. I mean, but Opendoor is kind of an example. We've already, seen some of these highs. Big Bear AI has been up here before and came back in. So that's why when we're talking about BBAI, we have to make sure that we are very, very careful. Like, my plan of action, remember, was 650, 750, 850. All right, and it's been really working out just for doing that. That's similarly to what we did the first time. It's exactly what we did the first time. And there's 850. So sometimes you get lucky, like getting out at 850, that could have ran to 10. So that's our next call. So we're long down here. We've gotten out. There it is. There's 650 was 2 days ago. 750, 850 is our next call. I'm lowering the shares I'm getting out at 850 from 15% down to 10%, just to see if we want to get going there. So I'm gonna try that play, and hopefully we can get a nice little runner there on Big Bear AI for the rest of the day. But it's now 11 o'clock. I'm only in the TQs, and right now, man, the Nasdaq, she be giving it up. So there it comes nicely down into the downside. So let's see right here if we can bleed a little bit lower. We're all over this one right now. Thanks for watching. Anything you want to? You got Intel?
Well, I do have Intel at that 30 level again, but I was actually going to mention BBAI as well. Like, it's a super strong stock today, but it looks like it's potentially going to lose 8, and then that volume weighted average price comes into play if it loses the $8 level. And one more for you, because I saw Gemini Space. I mean, whatever, these guys did a Gemini Space Station, but that's not what everyone's going crazy about this stock for, because they're another crypto play here. But Gemini up 6%, huge volume spike. I tried to find news on it, but there was a volume spike just a couple of minutes ago. I saw no news story in particular. Maybe it's something technical in here, but just keep an eye on Gemini, as that is absolutely flying to the upside. It's runner's kind of day. Like whether it's Virgin Galactic or Rigetti or Big Bear AI and now Gemini, the market itself isn't running, but certainly a lot of runners going. Let's get you guys over to the midday. It's Joey Options, and it's Sharif long MVST and NUAI. Let's call it what it is.